What's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
And this is the full book recap for Crown of Swords, Book 7 of the Wheel of Time. And guess what, Clarus?
What?
There's 14 books, which means that because we are at the end of Book 7, we're halfway there!
Whoa! Sorry, we can't get demonetized.
Yeah, thanks for that. That is right. Welcome back to the Nerdy, the Wordy, the Book Club, here live on YouTube every Friday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time from our two chairs at the Nerdy Nightly headquarters in sunny downtown LA.
Not quite. Not quite, no. It's more like gloomy, windy Toronto at the moment.
Sunny downtown, gloomy, windy Toronto, LA. Blue, thank you for being a member for 10 months.
Welcome back
Appreciate
to the
that.
Nerd Table.
Matturk has informed us that they are going to be the only mod for a minute here. For the beginning of the show. So please know that there will be no tomfoolery, no shenaniganery, and you will be timed out without warning.
I mean, your message will probably just get deleted first, but...
Look, this podcast is a fuck around and find out place, okay? Watch yourselves.
I mean, all right. Okay, you said it.
Robin So's 79 asks, are you going to read New Spring?
Yes.
Our plan is to do it after book 10. Because of chronology. Oh, hey, Fabu's here. Okay, never mind. We have two mods.
Fabu's excuse me?
Because of chronology, there is a part of us that we have discussed maybe making New Spring
A
Jordan Con situation.
Yeah.
But we are in talks with Jordan Con about what that would look like. And we haven't heard back yet. David Sturgill, thank you for being a
Welcome
Nord.
back to the Nerd Table.
Of the Nerd Table.
Yeah. It's a little tougher to do like a random section of one of the books at a panel, especially if it needs to be shorter time-wise. Whereas New Spring is kind of more of like a self-contained thing with, I'm assuming like nuggets of information for things that are future and past. So, that's kind of the idea at the moment, but we will have to see.
It's going to kind of depend on what happens with our potential Jordan Con panel. Maybe. We'll see.
We would love to have one, so if you want to have us at Jordan Con, make sure you tweet at them.
Father Juicefum, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
I don't understand what you've written here, though. You've repeated a lot of words.
That is peak lyricism, actually.
Oh, this is a song?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Let me try and come up with the melody for the song.
Go for it.
It's Friday. Got to get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend.
I mean,
weekend?
Close enough. That was
I think it was the exact opposite. It's Friday. I think it goes down, and I went up.
But every time tempo, like your the rhythm was like very similar. Cool. Yeah, you tried.
Sean Logan says Jordan Con memberships open tomorrow.
What do you mean by membership?
I think that means like passes.
Tickets? Okay,
I don't know.
Gotcha. No, he knows. He's giving you shit.
I know. I'm kidding.
Sean,
weirdly, I'm like friends of friends with Rebecca Black.
Wild.
Yeah.
Sean, welcome back to the Nerd Table.
Before we get into the show today, guys, it is the full book recap, but we still have to do some housekeeping. First things first, if you want to go over to Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review, please. Be nice to us, because if you do that, you can write literally anything you want, and I will read it on the show at a later date than when you write it. 'Cause
you could make Nerdy say Cad Swain is awesome.
Yes, you could do that.
You could. I'm just saying.
I would say it, too, because I appreciate those 5-star reviews. It is honestly the best way to help us as a podcast continue to grow and find new and incredible voices. Speaking of growing, I just want to say, if you're here from the Dusty Wheel appearance last week, thank you so much.
Hi, welcome in.
And if you like Wheel of Time, you're not following the Dusty Wheel, definitely go give them a subscribe here on YouTube. They make incredible content. And as always, I am excited to tell you that this podcast is brought to you by Audible. much like the housewives of the Midwest United States, books have long felt like they're looked at but not heard, and it is time for books to feel heard. And that is why we're sponsored by Audible. Audible is a subscription service where you can listen to books instead of listening to your wife. So at least somebody feels heard in this equation. Audible has like over 150,000 books. There's so many titles to choose from, and you can listen to them on any device that has speakers. Or those things that you like attach to your temples that vibrate your skull so that you can hear stuff, which makes me very nervous that I'm gonna like shatter my skull somehow. You know how like high-pitched sounds shatter a wine glass? I'm worried that if I were to wear those and like you get to like the part in Harry Potter where the fat lady is like singing into her thing and the audiobook narrator is like, "Wah!" and then my skull will just shatter on impact.
Audible.
Audible.com, audibletrial.com/nerdynightly is the place to go to make sure that books feel heard because they're tired of just being seen.
Jesus Christ.
Also, talk to your wives.
This is actually a relationship help show. What not to do as taken from The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan.
Yeah, don't take dating advice from Robert Jordan. Well, maybe from him personally. Don't take it from Wheel of Time. But apparently his marriage was like super happy.
Yeah, apparently they were great. I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
Wow, that was good. That was well done.
Thank you.
We should do a new tier list. We should do a stream. People are asking about updating our tier list.
Oh, the character tier list.
Yeah.
When you said it, didn't follow for most of what you said, and then I clicked in at the end. Much like how housewives in the Midwest feel like they're not listened to. audibletrial.com/nerdynightly.
Wow.
All right, let's get into The Crown of Swords, Book 7. Clarus, you've had a week. We've digested it. We have seen the ends of She-Hulk and Rings of Power.
Yes.
How are you feeling about Crown of Swords today?
I don't know how that's relevant, but sure. Timothy, welcome back.
Thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for that super chat. You're already in our
going to JordanCon this year. Hope to see you there. We will see you there. We'll be there.
Yeah, we want to make it happen, whatever capacity that ends up being in.
Yeah, I mean, we might end up like renting a theater across the street and doing our show over there.
We'll do our own panel. There's 500 of you here. We could fill a theater.
I want to do something. Oh, we would fill that theater. We would have special guests. It would be like a 3-hour show. If we don't get a panel at DragonCon, at JordanCon, I'm going to throw the best Wheel of Time party night across the street and be like, everyone, if you want the real shit, you have to come over here. And everyone at JordanCon's gonna be like, where did everybody go? And they'll be like, they went to that party that we were supposed to throw here, but then we were like, no. Anyway.
Sure.
This is my way of blackmailing JordanCon. Let us have a panel, please.
That sounds like
how are you feeling about Crown of Swords?
I don't think like taking any time with it that my feelings really changed on anything. Like I feel like I was like pretty confident about what we discussed throughout the entire book. What I liked, what didn't work for me, what was hard to talk about, all of those things.
Okay, but like say this is the first podcast of ours that someone listens to.
Oh,
and they weren't there. What do you think of Crown of Swords?
What do I think of Crown of Swords?
If they didn't listen to the 12 hours of us talking about it.
I understand. Okay. I think Crown of Swords is a good book.
Yeah.
I do not think it is the strongest that we have read so far.
Agreed.
I think that there are events in it that I find really fascinating and well fleshed out, and some really good setups here. There are things that I really like.
Blue! Thank you for that super chat. Hey, guess what? What?
Blue, thank you for gifting 20.
Caleb Tatro, thank you for that super chat. They say, we stand Hot Swain.
Yes, Cat Swain, thank you.
Cat Swain sucks. It says so on the shirt.
Blue, thank you.
One of us committed enough to our bit that we actually bought the shirt. You have not purchased your own merch.
I forgot about it. Blue, thank you for gifting 20 subscriptions.
Wait, 20?
Look at them all.
Blue! The fudge! Oh my god. Well, I was gonna say all the names, but that's too many names. Y'all, enjoy those. Claris Polaris was gifted a membership by Blue.
Thank you, Blue.
Dragon Stacks, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for the super chat as well. Oh my gosh, we got some mad lads in DOS chat.
Claris was gifted a membership. That's so funny.
Thank you.
You should block that.
So that I can't get a membership to the chat.
Yeah, you don't need it.
I don't.
It should go to...
Yeah. Yeah. Thank
Wow,
you.
Blue, thank you so much. That is unreal. Seriously. Wow.
Yes. Okay. So
what were we talking about?
If you missed our previous podcast, and this is the first one you're tuning into, Crown of Swords is probably in like the middle in terms of Wheel of Time ranking.
Okay.
Like I said, there's stuff in it that happens that I think is really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. There is some stuff on the other side of that I think could have been done a little bit better. Like you said, the writing of the end section wasn't like the strongest. And so when you have these Wheel of Time books, like there's so many others that are like wonderful and impeccable, right? Like they're masterful. This one is not a bad book. It just doesn't rank as high as those ones because it's not as like S tier. I don't know.
I agree with that. I think Turvok, thank you for that super chat.
Turvok, thank you for the super chat.
Sorry, nerdy, you're wrong. Team Claris, Cat Swain will grow on you. Maybe. Oh, right now she sucks.
We'll get there. I gotta get my shirt so that we can fight about it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think reflecting on Crown of Swords this week, I've been thinking a lot about, just about like in terms of narrative structure. This week I've been thinking a lot about narrative structure, just because of Rings of Power coming to an end, and the way that House of the Dragon has managed to build out its world, and the end of She-Hulk.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that like payoffs have been something that have been on my mind a lot this week.
Yeah.
And what does it mean to bring something to an end? And obviously the Wheel of Time is not at an end, but this book came to an end in a way that I did not find very satisfying, honestly.
Yeah,
And
it was one of the books at the event. I was like, I need the next book, but we can't. We have to wait. Like, I was like, I need whatever's next.
Well, but not even just whatever's next, but also like I did not find the way in which all of the Samael storyline was just handled in a chapter right at the very end.
Yeah.
I didn't find it satisfying.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I think it's good for like the larger story. And I think that a lot of Crown of Swords is good for the larger story. But in terms of the way that information is doled out within Crown of Swords as an individual novel,
Yeah.
I don't find it a very satisfying read on its own.
Yes.
And
within the series, I think it's different. But yeah, as an individual book, it's not as strong.
It's a little bit clunky, honestly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we get these two big chapters with Rand at the end of the book that are sort of completely unrelated and not related to other characters in a way that I really love. And so I love the book as a part of the whole.
Yeah.
But on its own, it is not my favorite book.
Yeah. No, I will agree with you there. I do really want to start Path of Daggers. Like, I'm very excited that it's Friday and now I can start reading because
But also, can we just talk about how Path of Daggers, first of all, beautiful purple. Love the cover here, Tor.
Yes.
Well done. But also, like, Path of Daggers is a full, like, 100 pages shorter.
Oh,
which
probably,
is very exciting.
Probably more. This is...
And we're still doing it in 4 chunks, which means...
This is...
I don't have to kill myself with reading.
750 pages. This is going to be like...
This is 5... No, it's 150 pages shorter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to get, like, a really nice, like, Wheel of Time set one day.
Nicholas McIntyre says the Samael bit was both rushed and confusing, which was unfortunate because Samael was pretty wasted as a character. I feel like
he has to come back. He's not dead.
I have no idea, but I feel like that's true of a lot of the Forsaken. I feel like a lot of the Forsaken are built up as these incredible evils, and all of them have kind of just been like very easy wins for Rand. Like I thought Raven was gonna be a long-term villain, and Rand like took him out in an afternoon after fighting Lanfear.
I guess. However, people did die fighting him, and they were only brought back. Like, there were at least consequences for the Raven fight, which
there
were then,
could have been that were not. Yeah.
But I think that it, like, I think honestly that moment, as like weird it is, I think it sets up really well the appeal and the detriment of Balefire.
Oh, for sure. But it does so at the detriment of the Forsaken don't seem that scary because they kind of always lose their first fight.
Yeah.
There are not many fights where we've seen the Forsaken make it past the first time they encounter Rand.
Yeah.
And that makes them less frightening to me.
Yeah.
Because it's always, Raven loses on the first time him and Rand go to blows.
Yeah.
Samael kind of not, because Samael is fighting at Kyrian, but Rand and him don't actually come face to face. Samwell's just shooting lightning from the parapets.
I would actually like if Balsamon had lasted longer, I think.
100%.
Like, here's the thing. I think Belal, I think Moraine getting that win is, like, very, very cool. I think that, Belthamel and what's his face from book 1? Agenor. I think that them having... Oh. Hopefully we're still live. That was weird.
That was weird.
OBS just, like, disconnected and reconnected. I think that them dying and coming back as version 2.0 is actually very interesting. So
yeah, no, it is.
Yeah, I think that like where it could have had a bit more like weight to it is with Balsamon.
Yeah.
Especially because like madness is like is hard to defeat in a way because they'll do things that are unpredictable, right? Like that's something that I think could have been played around with a little bit more. But I do like the wins in the first book.
Yeah.
And Raven's a tough one because I just wanted him to die so bad because of what he did. But we do have, like, Mogideon still alive, and they've encountered Mogideon a few times.
Sure, Rand hasn't fought Mogideon.
You're right. Rand just...
Ember Eyes makes the point that I think that I agree with the most. Is I've said it before and I'll say it again. I want Rand to lose a fight against Forsaken already. I need an Empire Strikes Back moment.
Yeah.
We're going into book 8. And, like, I'm still kind of waiting for Rand to take an L. You know what I mean? Like, he's most of Rand's losses are internal emotional losses, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But it makes the villains of the series less scary.
Yeah, okay.
Because Rand will always just come up with a way to win.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that that's fair.
Yeah.
I wish that losing Asmodean was more of a loss, but Rand doesn't even know it's a loss.
We will never find out what happened to Asmodean. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to make a prediction.
Guys, write it down.
Robert Jordan forgot
Clip
about Asmodean completely. And when Brandon Sanderson takes over, Brandon Sanderson was like, I bet that Brandon Sanderson, who was probably like 15 years old when he read Wheel of Time for the first time, was pissed for his whole life that he never knew what happened to Asmodean. And so Brandon Sanderson will answer what happened to Asmodean because he's like, Robert Jordan never finished this freaking plot point. CJB, thank you for being a narg. Really curious to hear your speculation on Moradin. Yeah, we are going to get to that. We have definitely questions about that in the Discord today. And Tom Ains, thank you for that super chat. Agree, ending felt rushed and disconnected from the rest of the story in this book.
Yeah, like it wasn't bad.
No.
It just wasn't.
And the story's still interesting, which is why it works.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that Robert Jordan has done so much amazing work. It just wasn't quite up to par, right?
Do I not have Discord on my iPad?
Do you not? I mean, I have my phone. So.
Am I crazy and I don't remember what the Discord logo looks like?
Just, like, search it. Discord.
I have never once searched for an app. No, I don't.
Yeah, you don't have
Let's
it
just put it up on the computer. We can just read off the screen.
Oh, on the computer? Yeah, that
way we're
works.
Not looking down.
Yeah. If you haven't yet, make sure you like this video. We've got some new friends coming over from Dusty Wheel. They let us know they found our content. We want to make sure that more people can enjoy some Wheel of Time stuff because Friday's now best day of the week.
Just in case you can't make it all the way to the end of the show, before we get out of here, I do want to say that Path of Daggers, we are doing a 4 split for it, even though it is a little bit shorter, because our mods and our spoiler chat have recommended that is the way to go.
Yeah.
In terms of the story. So we're going to start with prologue through episode 6. Prologue through chapter 6 next week. Part 2 is going to be 7 through 14. Part 3 is going to be 15 through 24. And part 4 will be 25 through the end.
Yes.
Apparently the prologue is epic. So
I'm excited for that. Yeah. I honestly, I know the prologues are like stupidly long, but I actually kind of like enjoy them. I think it's a fun thing about the series. Yeah. But yeah, if you're looking for that breakdown, it is always pinned in the Wheel of Time channel in the Discord. And we usually like tweet it out and put it on like the YouTube community tab. I think that's what it's called.
Let's start at the top of the questions chat. If you want to, for the full book recaps, we have a questions tab in our Discord where you can drop your questions for the full book recap episodes. Thank you to everyone who dropped theirs this week. You can't drop it like right now during the show. It closes the day before so that our mods can clean it up and make sure that we don't get spoiled.
No spoilers, and you know, if there's like repeated questions, we want to make sure we keep it tight.
Michael Kioski says, a 4-part split is fine. Maybe the episodes will be less than 150 minutes. I doubt it.
Sure.
Valazriel says, George R.R. Martin and Robert Jordan were familiar with each other.
Yeah.
Both Crown of Swords and Game of Thrones came out in 1996. Do you think Martin's decision with regards to killing off main characters influenced Jordan's decision to kill off Matt? F's in chat. Yeah. What do you think this series looks like moving forward without Matt in it?
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like 5% less horny, you know.
He's not dead.
I know.
He needs to marry the 9 Moon lady.
Yeah, whoever this figure is. Can we get some F's in chat, please?
Oh my god, what if it's a woman who moons him 9 times?
Sure. Oh my god. No, Matt's actually dead. He becomes a hero bound to the horn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the Daughter of the 9 Moons is like a Sanshin figure from their past like 500 years ago who believed that Randland should be free and actually likes the Aes Sedai. And so they're going to get married in Tel'aran'rhiod. And then, no, because Matt has to blow the horn. I was trying to come up with something.
Matt's going to blow somebody. Wheel Up Time says, Bed Bond Balefire, Kedswain, Deshiva, Moradin. That's tough.
If a woman moons you 9 times, she legally becomes your wife. That checks out. You know what? That's a very Robert Jordanism.
Ooh.
Daughter of the 18 Cheeks. You guys are wild.
Deshiva Kedswain Moradin is a tough Bed Bond Balefire. Because Deshiva is so out of it that, like, you don't want to marry the guy.
I would honestly kill Deshiva. He seems like he's already lost it, and I wouldn't risk it. So I would Balefire Deshiva. I would fuck Moradin, and I would marry Kedswain, because Kedswain's got them, like, smarts.
No, but then you're marrying someone who's running your whole life.
That's fine.
You know what I mean? Like, you need that, though. You can barely keep it together as
I
it is.
don't make decisions good.
You need someone to just tell you what to do.
Sometimes.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think that I'm gonna bed Kedswain and marry Evil.
Marry Moradin. Wow, okay. Even though
Evil
he's
is hot.
also gonna go mad.
As they say in the Toxic Event, no, he's not gonna go mad.
Moradin?
He's protected from it.
No. It's not the taint that's the madness. If you touch the true source, it eventually fucks you up.
Yeah, so he's gonna die soon, whatever. We won't have to be married long. I'll remarry.
50, thank you for the
56, thank you.
super chat. Oh, 56.
Little late, and I know, Nerdy, you've already argued against Pyrrhic victories, but Rand still loses quite a bit even when he wins. Sure, but we're 7 books in, he can actually lose once.
Yeah, we're just saying
Look,
that,
if it was like book 3, I would agree with you, but like,
yeah.
It's the end of book 7. He can take an L on a fight.
Yeah, or failing to like bring somebody into the fold of.
No, he can literally lose a battle.
Yeah.
I get that they're lucky. I get that they're Taviran, but they can lose once.
Yeah.
But
I
like,
think that's
Perrin hasn't lost a battle, Matt hasn't lost a battle, and Rand hasn't lost a battle,
Matt's
and we're
dead, so it
7
doesn't
books in.
Yeah.
Like, I hear you, 56. You're 100% right. I just think that like after 7 novels, it's like, should I care? Because this is.
Or is he always going to keep winning?
This is the problem. Is at some point, why should I believe that it is worth reading the book if there aren't stakes?
Right.
And the stakes are really hard to maintain over the course of a long story. Mm-hmm. But losing is important.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's.
Jeremiah Alden,
thank you for that super chat.
I only recently found book club and I wanted to listen from the beginning. I'm used to you at 2 times speed, but I'm excited to finally get to show.
You're the same as us. We listen to everything like 1.5 or 2 times speed, depending on who's talking.
My favorite thing is when I accidentally hear podcasts theme songs at regular speed.
And you're like, why is it so slow and sad?
Like, I listen to The Daily every day, and The Daily is just like this like
It's
boppy
bop.
theme song. And
It's
then
not a bop.
I turn off 1.5 speed and I'm like, oh my god. Bum 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 bum.
Jeremiah, welcome to the book club. I'm glad that you found us.
I finally heard How Did This Get Made's theme song at regular speed.
How does it get made?
And it's so weird because when I listen to How Did This Get Made, it's like, now it's time for How this can make. Gonna have a good time.
Yeah. It's so fast. And then
Let's celebrate the mediocrity of upside. And then you listen to the actual song and it's like, how did this get made? Let's celebrate the mediocrity.
You're like, what is going on?
And I was like, this is wild.
Like, yeah, it is always very weird to like have someone that you've listened to a certain way for so long and then hear them like speak like at a normal speed and you're like, I don't like it.
Yeah, I think we got into that one. Dragon Snacks asks, I asked last book and will now ask again, is the voice in Rand's head real or is he going mad?
Great question. Hold your fire. Welcome back to the nerd table. I guess he did kind of.
Rand did not lose to Paddington.
Paddington came in and was like, cat, and ran away, which is not really like.
He didn't lose anything. He lies in bed for 2 days. Like, there's no consequences for that. Paddington, like, stabs him, sure, but he doesn't lose. He loses nothing. Nobody around him even dies.
That we know of.
A bunch of random a bunch of unnamed characters died.
Yeah.
But Rand doesn't lose anything.
In this, like, honestly epic horror sequence.
Yeah. Like,
but, yeah.
He doesn't lose, right? DeRoe23 says he lost to Torm Rioton. He didn't lose. The fog started, he took one blow, and then everyone dispersed. Like,
yeah, we mean more so like a loss, like with consequences to it. Because Rand is always able to do exactly what he means to do anyways, no matter if someone gets a hit on him or whatever it is. And so they don't really feel like big losses.
They're not losses. They are momentary, like he takes blows.
Yeah.
But he doesn't lose.
Yeah.
And character, like losses are important for character work.
Yeah.
Emil says Moraine is a loss. No, again, but Rand doesn't lose that fight.
Yeah,
Moraine wins that fight and sacrifices herself to win.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I want to see like
that's Moraine's action. That isn't Rand's action.
Like I want to see like Rand, Damodred, not Damodred. No. Yeah, no. Fuck, that's Moraine's last name. What's his face? What? The Forsaken. God damn it. Demandred? No. What is Moraine's last...
Damodred?
So what's the dude's...
Demandred.
Demandred. Fuck this shit. Okay. God damn it. I just lost my mind for a second. Okay, Demandred and Rand, like... having an actual battle and like Rand like loses like
I want to see his army in full retreat.
Yeah, like he has to back away or he has to sacrifice something. Or, oh my god, that hurt my brain. I don't know why that was so difficult.
Baka Karn says the stakes aren't based on the win conditions of single battles. Rand is literally the most powerful channeler to live and is a prophetic figure. Losing these battles with the Forsaken wouldn't make sense. They absolutely would.
Then the Forsaken are not scary because if Rand can just walk up and be like, I win.
Do I have some prophetic figures to tell you about? Moses took some L's. Jesus took some L's.
Yeah.
Achoo!
Bless you.
It is all right for characters to lose and grow from it. It is actually what makes them more interesting.
Yeah.
It just raises the stakes for everything. And it's not just Rand. Matt and Perrin also don't lose.
Rand is losing.
They don't retreat. They don't have to regroup. They just forward. And I would love for this series.
Just a little bit of it.
To have Rand take it on the chin hard and have to figure out what to do about that.
Yeah.
Because right now he doesn't have to do anything about his losses because they're so small.
Yeah.
Oh, I got hit on the side. I guess I'll train more tomorrow. Is like the worst of his losses right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Just more of that. So Dragon Snacks did ask, and we
yes. Dragon Snacks asked.
Have not answered it.
I asked last book, and will now ask again: is the voice in Rand's head real, or is he going mad? It's real. It's absolutely real. It's more interesting for it to be real, and it's more like fantastical and fun. And so I can't imagine a world where it isn't.
I feel like it has to be real because Rand is like learning from Lews Therin.
Yeah.
Like, where would he like pull that knowledge from?
Yeah, it's in a world where past lives are such a huge part of the storytelling. Brigitte has memories of her past lives. Matt has memories of his past lives. like at the very least, the memories are real. Whether it's like another person to him, I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's a genetic memory in his head. That is 100% real.
Yeah. But it is like kind of like ambiguous, which I find very interesting. And I wonder if, because Cad Swain knows about the voices, I wonder if Cad Swain knows they're like real or not. Because maybe it's different for other people who are not. Well, no, if they believe it, that everyone's reincarnated and the wheel like just turns people out again, then I guess everybody would have past lives.
No, only certain people are turned out again.
What?
Like, not everyone gets resurrected in the Wheel of Time.
Oh, I thought that everybody was like a recycled version of their past self.
I don't think maybe that's true. But there are some people who seem to have more. Can you imagine if you're just in a cycle of not being that important?
You're just always a farmer.
Dragon Snacks, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for that super
Sounds
chat.
pretty crazy to us. I bet.
Oh yeah. I wonder if Cad Swain thinks it's real or not. Like, I wonder, like, I am excited for the scene where, like, Rand is like, I'm literally learning things from Luce Theron. And she's like, oh, that's weird.
I
like,
can't believe you're excited for a scene with Cad Swain in it.
Me? What?
Functionally Anonymous says, you've both made some really good predictions. What do you think is each other's best prediction so far? And what prediction that hasn't been proven or disproven yet do you most still hope is true?
Oh my god, that means we have to remember our predictions.
I'm still, your Aiel or the People of the Dragon prediction is still the best we've done. Like, that was the peak of the podcast, and that was, what, the second episode? We peaked early.
We peaked early, and it's all been downhill from there.
We did. Like, the first episode of the podcast, y'all, has like 20,000 views on YouTube now.
Really?
Or it's like really close to crossing 20,000 views.
That's
just
cool.
on like the first episode. Which is very cool. Thank you to everyone who's listened to it.
Thanks, guys.
Ooh, I don't know if I have any. I don't remember my predictions.
Do you remember?
I think the thing I predicted that I most hope to be true.
Is that Cad Swain dies?
No, I predict that she lives.
That's true.
I'm on team she makes it all the way.
Yeah, I think she dies. Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know. I think that I like the idea of Rand and Luce Theron being split into two people. I think that's fun. I think it's bonkers, but I think it'll be fun. I think I would enjoy that. That's a prediction of mine that I really like.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember my predictions.
We're so bad at remembering what we say on this podcast.
I know. We say things, and we say so many things. Like, as soon as the camera's off, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I forgot.
Wheel of Time asks, actual question, who do you think is a dark friend, as in that hasn't been confirmed? Someone in Rand's army. Like, I'm still waiting for the, like, or someone in the band of the Red Hand.
As long as it's not Bashir, I'll be very upset.
Davram? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Although it could be his wife.
No,
Dira?
She seems too forward to be a dark friend. Like, she doesn't seem like a sly, like, in the shadows kind of. Like, she, like, says what she means. I would be...
I think there are plenty of dark friends who are very loud. It's a good way to hide your real intentions. Trust me, I use it all the time. That's tough. I think, like, obviously Talmain's is at risk because I like him so much.
Yeah.
Talmain's is an option. Talmain's would be an interesting one. I feel like it has to be someone close to Rand and someone close to Matt. Perrin, I doubt. Like, I just don't really picture there being dark friends in the Two Rivers.
Maybe that's why. But here's the thing. We don't really have, like, there's not a lot of Two Rivers characters that were very prevalent in this book at all. Like, they were just the Two Rivers people that, you know, were, like, as a group. I
don't know. I got the feeling that Padan Fane visits there every once in a while because the Dark One doesn't have dark friends there because he doesn't think it's important enough, but he still has one of his dark friends go check on it every few months.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I don't really think that I'm as worried about that, but in terms of the other boys. I think that we're gonna find out there's some dark friends near them.
I definitely think there's gonna be like 1 or 2 maidens that are dark friends.
Oh, for sure. We have not met any dark friend Aiel, and they're coming. There's no way the dark one doesn't have Aiel dark friends.
I mean, maybe their name has been mentioned at some point, and we like because there's been
revealed to be
names.
dark friends.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, the maiden that was the Shido that Matt was banging.
Right. Melhindra? Melviere?
No, it wasn't. It started with an M. Ship Captain, we're out there. Tomains,
thank you for that super chat. Where is
yeah,
Ship Captain?
Melindra, yeah.
Dragon Stacks thinks Min is a dark friend? Get out.
How
Get
dare you? God damn it.
Right, Matt's girlfriend.
Ship Captain is a dark friend.
Melhindra, I was right.
Yeah, you were right.
I was right. And you're like, no.
I didn't say it
You're
like
a
that.
fucking idiot.
That is what I said. You're right. Yeah, so there was the one dark friend maiden, but here's the thing. I think like her being a Shido was kind of like, oh yeah, well, I mean, they're not like the greatest. I think there's gonna be a couple maidens that like, and it's gonna like hurt Rand, because he really like keeps track of it.
Sean Ashaman says, after 2 books, Team Light has the Bowl of Winds, but we still haven't seen it used. Thoughts? It's taking too fucking long. That's my thought.
So we know that
Fix the weather.
Bowl of Winds needs male channeling as well.
No, Elaine made that up.
You think so?
She said that she made that up.
Oh.
Elaine, in the scene with Nynaeve, she's like, I told them, I think she told them that to try and influence them to work with Rand more. But in the scene after the Bowl of Winds, Elaine says that she made up that they need male channelers. She doesn't know. She doesn't know how it works.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
I think the Bowl of Winds thing has gone on long enough.
It needs to be like resolved in the first like section of this book. I think.
'Cause I'm starting to be like, so everyone's about to die of hunger, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like no one's growing food.
No, like the famine is bad. So I feel like
the Dark One already won because they've lost a whole season of grain and they're fucked.
Yeah. Like the weather needs to be fixed ASAP. So I feel like it's got to happen pretty quick here.
Timothy Juvit says, bit behind, Matt lost to the Golem, at least he lost Nalcian. When you get here, I'm going to tell you that losing one person in a fight where the Golem, a magical creature, runs away from you and the main characters all live, isn't a loss. Losing one person is not a loss. They've lost people throughout the books.
I mean, a bunch of people died, but they were like all unnamed characters, basically.
Losing Nalcian isn't Matt losing the fight. They get the bowl and they get out with their lives. They win that encounter.
Yeah.
Again, yes, there are little losses. There are people that they lose along the way. But Matt wins that encounter because they get the bowl. Like, if the bad guys had made it off with the bowl, I would consider that a loss. I would agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But because they get out with what they went in for, they win. That's they accomplish their goals, and people die along the way, yes, but that's not them losing.
Yeah.
Rand lost at 2 ice walls because Ken died.
I know, justice for Ken.
Justice
guys.
for Ken. I want to get a black coat and go to Jordan Con as Ken. And my stepdad will be like, "What? Why are you?"
No, it's you don't get it. It's Ken. Justice for Ken.
What are you? Everyone's like Maz from Tame, and I'm like, no, I'm Ken. Why? Who gives a fuck about Maz from Tame? I'm Ken, the best Ashaman.
No, it's not necessarily that we need more named characters to die. It's that they need to not have accomplished their goal
one time.
Yeah. Something along those lines. Like
it's not about death. It's about loss. And those aren't the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of Aiel died at Kyrian, but Rand won.
Yeah.
Right? It's about them having to learn the lesson of loss in a real way, and not just the like, we lost some people, but we got the bowl. We lost some people, but we won Kyrian. Yeah. We lost some people, but then Balefire brought them back in Raven. You know what I mean? Like, it's always the goal that they go into the situation with is always accomplished. And some people die along the way.
Yeah. And I wonder if, maybe we get that in this book. Like,
or maybe we don't in the series. And maybe the series is about that. I don't know.
Which is fine. I just think that, like,
but it does make the Forsaken, like, I'm none of them matter to me. Because I'm like, oh, they'll probably die as soon as they meet Rand.
Yeah. They're just not as scary as they could be. And I feel like they should be more.
I would even take Rand winning, but the Forsaken actually gets away for once.
Yeah.
Like, I at this point, I would take dueling to a standstill.
I mean, I think Samael got away.
I don't know. I think if he comes back, he's not Samael anymore. He's tainted by Shadar Logoth, and he becomes more. Him and Pad and Fane team up, but he's not like a full on like Dark One Dark Friend. He's a Shadar Logoth Dark Friend.
Yeah. Okay.
Colonel Sanders asks, in book 2 recap, you were asked who you would like to play on the show. Nerdy chose Gawain, and Claris chose Elaine. Now that you know more, has this changed?
I mean, I think the Aiel are hilarious. So, like, Avienda would be such a fun role. Like, just with the culture that they have and the understanding that she has of people and their understanding of her. I think that would be, like, very fun and fulfilling.
Yeah.
And, like, as an actor, I think there's so much there to play with. What?
Nicholas Reed is behind, currently listening to me in 2 times speed, singing the How Did This Get Made song at 2 times speed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good theme song.
And now he's going to listen to it at 4 times speed.
Yeah.
I would still play Gawain, yeah. It's a great part. I think that he's got a lot of really complicated stuff. Yeah. I think he's going to die soon, so I wouldn't have to stick with the series all the way to the end, and I could like move on to other projects, which as an actor can be fun. Sometimes being stuck in a show until the very end can be a long, slow process.
Yeah.
Ask any of the people who worked on Game of Thrones. It was 10 years of their lives.
Yeah,
right?
I know, it's a lot. It's a lot.
In like the cold of Northern Ireland, it wasn't exactly a walk in the park. So
yeah.
I don't know. I think Gawain would be a great part. I also would love to play. That's tough. I would love to play the guy who's with
Ken.
Is it Talonvor? The guy who's with Morghese?
Yeah.
I think he has a really interesting story. I think there's a lot of really interesting like character beats to play with him. Mm-hmm. I would really enjoy playing Talonvor.
That's a fun role.
Or no, is Talonvor the one with Morghese?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I would be into that. I think that's an interesting role with a lot of like complex. Yeah, I think that playing a character who is in love with a queen and reveres her as a queen, but is really upset with her over how she has handled things, and who's like deeply in love with her, but also
one doesn't realize that she was like literally like enchanted.
Yeah.
Like magic. Yeah. It's interesting.
I just think it would be a really interesting part to play. And that kind of like moon-eyed but angry character has a lot of layers. And I think it would just be, as an actor, that would be a role that I think I would love to really dive into.
Yeah. 1,000%.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of someone who's like not like one of like the main people, like as somebody interesting, but like there's not a lot of like super interesting female secondary characters.
What are you talking about?
That are my age. I think that like Soralia and like Sulin and a lot of the Aiel on that side are very interesting.
The short Aiel.
Leah? No.
No, who's the Aiel who's like super short? There's one maiden. It'd be a fun part for you.
I was thinking
you could play like the Napoleon complex and be like so overcompensating because you're short. I think that that would be a really fun character.
Funny. The other thing that honestly I was thinking was Caroline Damodred. We only got like a small section with her.
She's great.
But I think she's really interesting. And I am very excited to see more of her character and how she comes back. And Nayla.
I think that you would be fun as Faolain.
Oh.
At the tower.
The asshole.
Yeah, I think it's a fun role, right?
Yeah.
Or who's the one who's an asshole but swears to? Is that Faolain who swears to?
Yeah, Faolain is the one who's a dick, and then it's the other girl who's trying to break Nynaeve's block.
But who's the one who swears fealty in that scene in the tent to Egwene?
Yeah, it's Faolain.
Yeah, I think that's a fun role. I think that
starts with a T.
I think that you would have a lot of fun with
that could be fun. I can make that happen. I could play Bane and Shit.
All right. Colonel Sanders also asks, which character do you hate to love and why hate? I love hating Cadsuane. I made a shirt about it. It's not the best shirt, but it's a good shirt.
Honestly, it's just like soft.
It's so soft, guys.
That's
we
what matters.
switched to fourth wall for our merch.
Best choice we ever made.
And our merch is so comfy now that I wear our merch so much.
Yeah, it's super nice. Big fan.
Get your fourth wall merch. This podcast is sponsored by Audible. audibletrial.com/nerdynightly. Who do you love to hate?
All the plugs. Who do I love to hate?
These monies. Thank you so much for that super chat. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much for the super chat. It's weird because there's not a lot of characters that I love, hate, or like hate, love. Like, like, oh man, like Alviarin maybe. She's a terrible person, but she is like fascinating.
Okay. That's fair.
Really hate Fail sometimes.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Sting asks, now 7 books in, what are your thoughts of how gender is used and viewed in this world culturally, politically, and magically? Have your opinions changed at all from when you first started reading the books? Dragon's Text, thank you for that super chat. Everyone, like that Cat Swain button.
Dragon's Text, thank you so much.
And go to nerdynightly-shop.fourthwall.com so you can get your Cat Swain Sucks shirt.
Or you can get the better version, which is I Shrimp for Cat Swain.
At JordanCon, we need to get everyone to bring their shirts, and then we'll do a photo with two sides.
Photo?
Where we're like, it's like Jets and Sharks from West Side Story.
Yes.
That'll be fun.
I love it.
Wolfie, thank you for that super chat.
Wolfie, thank you for the super chat.
You missed 3 weeks, Wolfie, because you were hiking the Appalachians.
Welcome back.
Claris doesn't believe in the Appalachians.
What do you mean? I mean, I don't believe that they're mountains.
Claris believes that the
hills.
only mountains in North America are the Rockies.
Correct. Those are the only mountains I have seen in North America.
We were driving down to Atlanta, and she was like, there's no mountains on the East Coast. And I was like, what are you talking about?
They're large hills.
I was driving, and I started laughing so hard. I was like, this is dangerous. I can't laugh this hard.
Unless there is, like, snow on the caps in summer, it's not a mountain.
That is not how that classification works at all.
It is now. Dead Iron, thank you for that.
Dead Iron, thank you for that super chat.
Oh
I
my
need
God.
a 90 Suck shirts. That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, she's
You gotta get one. They're so guys, they're so comfortable.
Yeah, honestly,
It's
like
great.
I can't. Yeah, we wear our own merch. Maybe that's silly, but
That's why we left our old merch company, was because I didn't like wearing it. I was like, it's not comfy.
Fine.
No.
This is like 10 times better, and we can have a lot more fun with the designs. I am working on a few things that I would like to make happen, but if you guys have like merch that you also want to see as well, like let me know, because I want to expand that store. All
right. What do you think about gender in Wheel of Time?
It's
harsh.
Yes.
The dividing lines between everything are so harsh, I find that fascinating.
It is strong. It is one way or the other. Yeah. And now we have this weird crossover with Belphamel and Agenor, who's what's her face? There's so many fucking names. Like I can't.
Who's in what?
In the women's body.
Halima?
Halima. I was like, Helena? That's wrong. Halima. Like, there's definitely in this world no like gray area. Which, to be honest, I think for like this book in this world is fine. I think you would have a lot of weird questions and how stuff works if gender was less black and white.
Yeah.
Just because of how the power works and everything like that. So I understand the choice that Robert Jordan made for the series. And I don't think
it was also the 90s. Like, gender was...
Sure.
If he was writing about, like, trans issues in the 90s, I would be very shocked.
I mean, The Matrix came out and, like...
But The Matrix isn't...
The Matrix is not about...
The Wachowskis weren't
right.
out when The Matrix came out.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's... my opinion
They're out
hasn't
now,
really, like,
but...
changed on it, I don't think. It is very, like, stark one way or the other. And that's fine. I think that is like the choice Robert Jordan made for this book, and I feel like it's probably the right one, because there'd be a lot of other stuff. Like the books would be even longer.
I think that Robert Jordan writes about the idea of women having more power in society, but then consistently undercuts his own take on that by putting the female characters in predominantly female roles throughout the series.
Yes.
I think that his idea of matriarchy is deeply colored by patriarchy in a way that he doesn't ever really escape in his writing.
Yeah.
But he did more with it than I think anyone else did in the 90s. So.
Yes, for the time. And the other thing as well is like every main character woman is like obsessed with her clothes and how she looks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is like very it's very stereotypical.
Yeah.
Even Min, I was like, oh no, Min doesn't give a fuck. But now that Min likes Rand, suddenly she's like has to like be into decor and fancy clothes and looks.
Whereas, she
like,
found a man and suddenly she's
Which like I was kind of like, okay, fine. Like, well, it's not like it's a huge deal. I just would have liked to seen more variety. Yeah. I think in the women and like their interests. Because they're all just interested in like looking nice and pretty decor.
A lot of female characters start out not that way and devolve into that at some point.
Yeah.
And it is interesting that we've seen almost all of our female characters eventually become obsessed with clothing and what they wear. Yeah. And like I thought Min wasn't going to go down that road and now she very much is. I'm surprised Nynaeve went as far down that road.
Yeah, and then he was like, suddenly I have taste in art and tapestries. And I'm like, sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just think there's a way. I think there is a way for those characters to stay a little bit more steadfast in their personalities that they haven't.
Yeah, it's just a bit generic. That's all. I'm like, okay, yeah, man, that's classic. Yeah. Hold Your Fire, thank you for that super chat. I should make myself a Clara Says I Was Right shirt. Just wear it every week.
Yeah, but even when we're in the Two Rivers with Fail and Perrin, and they have their manor. And the women's circle, or the many wise women come in. The wisdoms come in.
The wisdoms, you're right.
Sorry, there's too many W
We have wise ones, wise
women.
women's, and wisdoms.
This book. I think that there is, even, in that, they're bickering about who's going to, make dresses for Fail. Yeah. Right? Like, it always comes back to clothing. And I get that Robert Jordan was apparently a very talented seamstress. And loves clothing.
Necklines.
But it is interesting how much women in this series in particular always seem to come back to looks.
Yeah. Whereas the only time our male characters talk about coats and stuff like that is that Matt's kind of messy and Rand has nice coats that he's become comfortable in. I think that's it.
Sana Chan says, okay, the flip side, I think the guys also started to get into clothes despite initially being all I'm Two Rivers. I only like wool and only wool, particularly Rand, who disdained the shirts he got in book 2. Rand point of view chapters aren't constantly about his clothes. There will be a line about him picking his jacket for the day, and then that is it.
Yeah,
whereas women chapters...
the sections with the women, there's always a paragraph about what somebody is wearing or the description of...
Yeah, it goes on forever.
Yeah, it's just interesting.
I think that Fires of Heaven did the most damage to my opinion of this, because Nynaeve and Elaine just go on about what the other girl is wearing for so long in that book.
I know.
That it was
what
rough.
A slut. I'm like, what? Guys,
I definitely found Fires of Heaven and that the clothing aspect of Fires of Heaven rough, and I think that colors my opinion of the whole series a little bit more than it should.
Sure.
But yeah, I didn't love Min. The whole Min. I never thought I would care about furniture, but I want to refurnish Rand's apartment. I was like, okay, sure.
Yeah,
welcome to HGTV.
I love that Min took up the dagger thing that Tom Maryland does, the up sleeves. I love that there's that there is other things there, and then the other girls have the one power. But it just felt unnecessary that Min Min needs to talk about her embroidered outfits and stuff. I don't think that does anything for her character.
And Bryce makes a great point. The women keep going into Tel'aran'rhiod, and that requires 3 paragraphs of clothing description because they keep getting distracted by wanting to dress in revealing clothes.
Yeah.
But literally, there are entire chapters of Nynaeve just being I would never wear that, but I would wear it for Lan.
Lan, and you're like, we get it.
Oh my god.
The
other part of that I find really funny is oh my god, I lost it. I had a thought.
I'm sorry.
I had a fucking thought and it like disappeared as I was speaking.
Deadar, thank you for that super chat. Yeah, we both need a Called It shirt, and whenever we like read a section where our predictions came true, we wear it for that week.
Nynaeve just starts wearing Lan's favorite colors.
Yep.
As if she has access to enough clothing to have colors.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's fine. It's not that big of a deal, but it is something that like stood out to me as like, oh, this is very stereotypical. Yeah.
I hope we get away from that as we move forward.
Yeah.
Wheel of Time fan edit asks, which arcs do you want to see in the show, and which arcs do you think can and should be cut?
Okay. Specifically, I think...
Do Might As Well has to be in there.
Yeah. Are we talking about cuts for season 2 of the show, or are we talking about cuts this far into the books?
Oh, that's tough.
Because those are different things, right? I feel like we have talked about the show already.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I don't know how you cut anything out of the Great Hunt.
Oh, out of the Great Hunt?
Like, let's just talk Great Hunt. What do you cut from that book?
You have to, like, merge things together.
I know, but, like, so much of that is so important. The meeting of,
the Flicker, I think you don't need to be there.
Oh, yeah, Flicker's cut.
Flicker didn't really have any impact in the next 5 books, so I think you can cut that.
I mean, it kind of does, but it also doesn't. It's like... Yeah, I think Flicker's cut. It's one of my favorite chapters.
Yeah.
But it's cut.
I think they're going to cut Agenor and Belthamel, because we know there's not 13 Forsaken, right? And I think that having the conversation about the
do you think they just
man in a woman's body...
Do you think they just skip to Arengar and Osengar, though?
Potentially.
They could just bring them back and be like, oh yeah, these Forsaken died in the Age of Legends, and I brought them back.
Potentially.
That's a way to do it.
I just think that the show doesn't have the time to have the gender conversation that, like... is relevant to the time we're living in. So
yeah, I think that Flicker will be at the very least not very much. I think it'll be unimportant.
Yeah, and the fact that they discover traveling later, and there's also the way gates.
Do they discover traveling in season 2?
Season 2, no.
Okay.
No. Look, guys, I love Flicker, but I think it's cut. I really do. And I think that like those images and that emotional beat for Rand, I think is instead in Ruidian. They just add a little bit to Ruidian.
Claudia Van Tilburg says, pretty sure they meant from this book. I don't know how we could talk about what they're going to cut from this book when
we don't have...
we don't know where the show's going to be at.
Any setup in the show.
I don't even know what season Crown of Swords will be in. Because it could be in season 3. It could be in season 5. Like... I don't know. And so it's really hard to talk that far in the future of the show, considering I don't know what happens. Ooh, Michael Kioski says cut the steading. I agree with that. I think they cut the steading. I think it's too expensive. Yeah. I think like...
all the old gear.
Yeah.
And the... Yeah.
That would be
that would have
huge
to be cut.
expense.
Yeah.
I think they have to do it at some point, but I don't think it's necessary in book 2.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, if I was going to cut something, this might be sacrilegious to people. I would actually cut all of the...
Bowl of Winds?
No, that's going to be very important.
Oh.
And very cool, right? To see the world... No, you can't cut that because it's going to be so cool visually. Well, if they do anything with it.
No, it could be very
that sounds
cool.
mean, but I find the cinematography of Wheel of Time a little flat. But to watch the world decay over the course of like 2 seasons would be cool.
Yeah.
Right? And we introduce the Aiel Waste, and then we go back to Randland, and we watch Randland start to look more and more and more like the Aiel Waste. Very cool idea. I think that visually what you could do with that would be awesome. It would be expensive, but it would be very cool. I think you cut all of Loyal's mommy get married drama.
Yeah.
Don't worry about his mom coming after him. Don't worry about the girl he's supposed to marry. Like, cut all of that. I don't think you need it on the show.
Sag, but like it's not that important. At least in this moment, right? Yeah. God, yeah, cut the circus.
Cut the fucking circus.
Get rid of the circus. Like, I'm
it
sorry
doesn't go
because
anywhere.
You won't be Val and Luca, and I'm sorry about that. But like,
I'm
please.
not. Oh God, I don't want.
You don't want to sim for Nynaeve?
I would sim for show Nynaeve. I would.
Yeah, me too.
She's pretty hot.
They're
all hot though. I would literally sim for anyone on the show.
I'm trying to think of like what from this book is not that important. And that's the tough thing is I don't know because I don't know what we're getting in the show yet. Like, I think that you condense Ebudar to like a week. Like you have well even maybe even less. Like you have to really shrink that whole storyline down because it goes on for a while where they're like, we just can't find the bowl.
Yeah.
Right.
You could cut so much out of that storyline.
Yeah.
So much. Like you could you could have shrink that. The bowl stuff is.
Do you
long.
think that they will keep that Lan's bond gets passed to Morel?
I think it's getting passed to Nynaeve this season.
That's what I'm wondering.
I'm thinking that Moiraine is not connected to the one power. Pass that bond.
Yeah, I think that they might have to cut the whole Lan's bond goes to Morel and that whole
I think
thing.
Morel's cut. I don't think we ever meet her.
Yeah. No, we've met Morel.
On the show?
Yeah, she was the green that that Moiraine hung out with in her room, I thought.
No, that's
Oh no, that's starts with an A.
Alana.
Oh,
that's who
that's
bonds
Alana.
Rand.
Oh my god, there's so many
we have not met Morel on the show.
people. God damn it.
Let's get to the next question here. I think we answered that one.
That one's tough, and I'm sorry, but I just don't have a really good idea of what in this show
I don't know. I feel like we answered the question pretty well. we gave many options.
I guess, yeah.
Wheel of Time fan edit. Oh, no, wait. That's what we just said. Karen Taverin, great name, says, besides Rand, obviously, who do you want to see... Sorry, my brain.
Who do you each want to see make it all the way to Tarmangaden?
And do you have a prediction of someone who won't?
Yes.
Honestly, at this point, I think all of our main characters make it. I don't think anyone actually dies. I think Moraine's there. I think all the Hunters of the Horn show
God,
up.
I really want Moiraine to come back.
Yes, Marie Sumero.
Do you mean like actually at the battle or just like is alive?
They're all at the battle. Everyone on Earth is at the Battle of Tarmangaden.
I guess. Yeah, I know. I guess you're right.
I don't think there's anyone on the planet who doesn't have a part to play in that fight, right? I hope it's not a like, we all just have to believe moment.
Yeah, who is not going to make it? Like I said, I don't think Cad Swain makes it to the conclusion of the series.
She does. She's in the epilogue. She's there and she spanks Rand one last time and then sends him off to have a foursome with his ladies. She spanks him till he's hard and gets him, boots him into the room with his women.
But the problem is, like, I think Perrin and Matt and Rand and the girls all survive. Like,
yeah, I don't know who I think doesn't make it. I think everyone just kind of makes it.
Yeah, like I feel like they all need to be at
There'll be a couple of losses along the way, but
Tarmangaden, like
I don't think Davram Bashir makes it.
I was worried about that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But I think he goes out like a boss. Sen Bui will probably not be at Tarmangaden. I think he will. He'll just be on the Dark One side.
Yeah.
Sen Bui is the Dark Friend who has not been revealed to be a Dark Friend yet. Who's definitely a Dark Friend. Karen Tavern also asks, we know that Rand said Luce is in his head. I am dyslexic. We know that Rand said Luce in his head kept him company while in the box. But do you think overall that him having Luce in his head is a blessing or a burden? Both?
Yeah, it's tough.
Can it be both?
Because would Rand have been able to break out of the box without Luce Theron?
Yeah.
I don't think so. So I feel like...
I think Rand is really good at stroking hard things. He would have rubbed that hard knot out of that shield.
It's both.
While he's humming to himself like bow.
Obviously,
bow,
it's
down.
obviously it's tough for him.
Bow,
okay,
bow, bow.
but there is like good that comes out of it in like a weird twisted way.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really say that it's completely a burden. I mean, it's definitely a burden, but it's not all negative.
Yeah, I agree with that. Demetrios says after stealing Tyr from Balal and Caemlyn from Raven, Rand now stole Ilion from Samael. I don't know that he stole them, but more that he like conquered them.
Yeah, same thing.
But stealing, I think stealing implies that he like took them away with like, but left them alive. But he kind of just killed all of those people.
I don't think that's much. Yeah.
It's semantics. What about other nations? Which ones get conquered by Rand? Which ones get allied with him? And which turn to the Dark One? Ooh, I hadn't thought about like whole countries flying to the dark.
I mean, maybe the Sanchin.
The northern countries don't need to be conquered, right? I think that they are all pretty firmly with Rand at this point. Saldea's definitely with Rand. I can't imagine Faldara doesn't fight alongside Rand.
Yeah.
Although, who knows about the show, right? Because Algamar is dead in the show. So he's very much alive in the books, which is going to be an interesting change. Because I'm assuming Algamar will come back.
Yeah. I wonder... okay, the country that Graendal discovered, that she like has people from.
Oh, yeah.
So something, another S name.
Yeah, the Far East.
Yeah, I literally cannot keep all these names straight, and I'm upset with myself. I think that I think it would be interesting if they were like kind of on their own side or like with the Dark One.
They're so far away though. Like I almost like don't want them to become a part of this.
Thank you. Well, but when traveling is a thing.
Oh, sure. If people can travel, yeah. I there's just a part of me that's like we've already introduced. It's gonna take books to unravel what's going on with the Sanchin. To have to do a whole other country that's a lot.
I'd actually love if like Rand went to Shara and was like, "Hey, help me out," and they like, pincered the Sanchin from behind. What?
What if Rand, hear me out, what if Rand goes to Shara in time for the man's crown to be up, and
the man's crown,
and he marries the woman queen of the Sharans, and he becomes king of the Sharans for 7 years?
No, he only has 3 ladies. Min has seen this.
No, he doesn't love her, but it's like a political marriage.
No, I think that
they've set up this like 7-year thing, right?
So Rand gets 7 years.
So
14 years.
Rand goes to Shara and gets to be part of the like 7-year, 14-year thing.
No,
he's like, at 14 years, I'm gonna be crazy in 14 years. That doesn't matter. I'll marry you.
No, I was gonna say maybe that's the daughter of the 9 moons, but we know that that's a Sanchin thing.
Eric Madsen asks, important question, thatch or tile? Thatch roofs actually last longer than tile roofs, so I would go thatch.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thatch roofs last longer than modern roofs. But they're not as they're harder to maintain, and they are they're less durable against like hurricanes and stuff like that.
All right. Well,
Speakeasy V, but they last for a very long time. Rand will clearly send Perrin to become the king of the Shard. Thank you for being a narg.
Thank you for coming to the nerd table.
Fael would murder Rand.
Yeah. Rand would be a dead man, and they would lose Tarmangaden.
I think the Sanchin won't. Well, actually, no, the Sanchin won't fall because Matt's about to marry them and become the king of the Sanchin.
I don't know. No, because it's an empress, right? They follow the empress.
Fine. He'll become the empress's daddy.
I still think it's not the like oh my god. I still think it's not the like monarchy figure. I think it might be a religious figure.
Sure.
Like I think that there's going to be more conflict there.
It can be any. At this point, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. C. Sarmi asks, what do you think will happen in the next prologue? What would you like to see there? Dude, I have no fucking clue.
Please use the bowl. Please use it.
Use the bowl and end this. Yeah, that's a good one. In the prologue, I think that we will get, I think we're going to get some Moradin action. I think that we're going to get some more Moradin. I think we're going to get maybe some Shadar Haran thoughts.
I honestly hope that we get some Wolf Brother stuff. Because it's been a second.
I don't think we'll get that in the prologue.
Maybe not. But
we never get Rand, Perrin, and Matt in the prologue.
That's true. Yeah.
It's always saved for other characters. That's why I'm thinking like some like Dark Friend stuff. I think that we will get Wolf Brother stuff in Perrin chapters in Gildan.
I hope so.
But I don't think that'll ever be in the prologues.
Yeah. I just.
Oh, Aleda Alviera and stuff, always in the prologues. I feel like that's one I'm definitely gonna think.
I think Slayer. I think we have to get Slayer back.
Remember Slayer?
Well, because now we have Lan back, right? Lan is back in the story. So I think bringing Slayer back into the story.
Oh my god, I forgot about Slayer.
Dead Iron, thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
May she live forever.
May she live forever. That Empress, though. I forgot about Slayer.
Yeah, I feel like now that we have Lan back in the story, it's
Wow.
a good time to bring him back into things as well.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we get a little more Perrin in this book, too.
Dabi123 says, what is your opinion on Rand accepting the crown of Ilion? Now we see Rand accepting power for the first time. What are your predictions for Rand's behavior as the taint affects him more and more? Whoa, so many questions. I think that he accepted the crown because it was the only option.
Well, I think it would have been, like, rude to refuse it in the moment. Like, I think that might have not gone over well. And the thing is, I think the reason he asks is because he wants to know why. Like, I think I think the reasons they're giving it to him are what makes him accept it. He's like, oh, I understand, and I feel like the people will actually have some respect for me or love or whatever you want to call it. As opposed to just a conqueror coming in and like stealing the crown.
Yeah, I think for me, it's one of those situations where with Kyrian and Caemlyn, he has someone who he kind of trusts that he can install there, and he doesn't have that in Ilion.
Yeah, he would have to like put Bashir in there, and he's like a captain.
But that would be like a short-term thing, like with Berlain and Kyrian. I think that he doesn't have a choice. I think that he has to take the crown here. Because otherwise, who do you install in Ilion? I don't think we have any Ilianers, unless he wants to make ship captain Doobie the king. I just don't think that he has a choice but to accept the crown at this point. Because I don't think that he has a good plan B here. Yeah,
but it'll also be interesting to have him like have almost a more permanent installment as opposed to be like, I'm here so that Elaine can come and get this.
I don't think he stays king of Ilion. I think he abdicates the throne to someone when he finds the right person down the line. Like, I don't think he's king of Ilion at the end of this. Someone else is running Ilion, but what are you looking at?
What the names of the books are.
Why are you trying to spoil yourself?
Well, no, I was just wondering, like, maybe, like, when that would happen. But...
It's not... None of those are really going to help.
No, I was just like
knife of crowns. Knife of dreams.
Dreams, yeah.
Knife of dreams.
Maybe the Moradin dagger gets into Tel'aran'rhiod and it starts tainting Tel'aran'rhiod.
The Moradin dagger?
Yeah, sorry, not Moradin. Mordeth.
Oh, the Shadar Logoth dagger.
Fane goes in the flesh to Tel'aran'rhiod and starts ruining everything.
I have no idea.
That's my prediction.
I have no idea.
Purely based on the title of a book.
Dabi also asked, which of the three Ta'veren boys do you think would have the happiest marriage after the last battle, assuming they survive? Ooh, well, easy, Rand.
I mean, yeah, he's got 3, so...
Yeah, but also, Matt is going to marry some Sanchin
That's the
lunatic.
Thing. We don't know the person that Matt is marrying yet, and Fail is kind of the worst sometimes.
Fail is the best of times, the worst of times. You know what I mean? Yeah. She is a full... What is that, a Walt Whitman quote?
Yeah, so it's got to be Rand.
Rand has the 3 hottest ladies in the realm.
Yeah.
They all fucking adore him. And yeah, Rand wins.
Yeah.
Rand gets foursomes. He wins.
Yeah,
it's not that complicated.
Correct.
Filthy Greek says, out of the 3 main boys, whose powers would you most like to have? Matt's luck, Rand's channeling abilities, or Perrin's wolf brotherness?
Perrin.
None of the above.
Oh.
Absolutely not one of them. I would like to plead the 5th.
Perrin's.
You want to spend your whole life hearing fucking wolves in your head and maybe going crazy?
He's fine.
Yeah, but that guy in the barn wasn't.
Yeah, he's fine.
Oh God, there's no, because then I'd have to like go live in the woods. You don't like the woods. You don't even like being outside.
You don't have to live in the woods. You can go wherever the fuck you want.
No, because you would. Then how? So what? You're just gonna like fall asleep and there'll be no wolves and you'll just be sad all the time?
No, you can like dream and go in Tel'aran'rhiod and like run with wolves and like have adventures in your dreams, and so they're not that dangerous because they're not real.
I don't know.
That sounds fun.
Oh, the yellow
eyes. That would be sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It would. I would take none of them. I don't want any.
Honestly, it'd be nice to have the luck and go to the casino. Not gonna lie, like winning a bunch of money sounds like a good time.
No, there's downsides to that. There's too many downsides to Matt's luck.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Matt ended up hung. Eves says, more women, more problems? No. Here's the thing. When you're in a foursome like that, if you have a problem with one person, someone else can run interference. And so no one ever gets too upset because you have a group of people who all take care of each other through the problems.
Yeah.
And someone in the marriage will be happy with you at all times.
Yeah.
The problem only becomes when you scorn all three of them at the same time. So you got to be a little bit careful, but that's hard to do, right?
Yeah.
You have to work through your marriage problems as a unit, but you have different points of view to help you through it.
Yeah. Dead Iron, welcome back to the nerd table.
Dead Iron says, ever wonder about the connection to the Ways and Teleran Riyadh? I always thought they had a connection.
Oh, the Ways.
I don't know. One is created with the power and one isn't. So I feel like...
Yeah, and the fact that, like, the Ways are kind of, like, dead and decaying, and there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with Teleran Riyadh. I've never connected the two, so...
I did say Matt is hung. Well...
You did that on purpose.
He probably is.
You did that on purpose.
I promise you I didn't.
Oh. I thought that was on purpose. I thought you were being clever.
Guys, I love superpower shows. I love my nerdy stuff. I love wizards. I love all of it. I don't want magic powers.
You're like, please no.
I just don't.
I don't want it.
I like that magic doesn't exist. I like that superpowers aren't real. I like that the real world has laws and that I don't have to worry about super people. I do. I love the stories about them. I think they're fun ways to explore humanity, but I'm glad they don't exist in the real life and that I can enjoy it from afar because it's a nightmare. Having powers is consistently a nightmare.
Yeah.
The thing about having really good luck is that you also get really bad luck sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. Heroes season 1 was fantastic. Heroes after season, how many did they get?
I don't know. There's some really good stuff in season 2.
Is there only 2 seasons?
There's
whatever
4.
Whatever the last season was kind of fell off the rails a little.
I think there's actually 5 with the reboot, but
oh yeah, no.
The reboot was fine.
Save the cheerleader, save the world.
Yeah. The problem is once they got past saving the cheerleader and saving the world, the show didn't really have anywhere
Things
to
got a little
go. Yeah.
wonky.
And then it became about like the presidential election. It just got like, it struggled. In figuring out like what its point was after that point.
Dakuna, Nerdy wants to be 2 inches shorter, so you guys have opposite
I
problems.
would lose 4 inches.
I know. You want to just be 6 foot flat.
Yeah, off my penis so that it could finally fit inside a woman because it's so big.
Yes.
My dick is huge.
Big PP energy.
Bow, 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 bow.
Jesus Christ.
Krisu says, where do you think the Forsaken are? What are they up to? Well, we kind of know, right?
Well, we know.
We have an idea of where everyone is.
I don't know where Semiraj is.
In the White Tower.
Right. Masana and Semiraj are in the White Tower.
I don't think Masana's there. I think Masana projects herself into the White Tower.
No, she's there like
despite... Oh, that's right.
Alviarin's like, I wonder who
maybe
she is.
Maybe Semiraj isn't there. Maybe she's somewhere else nearby.
I thought they had mentioned, but now I can't remember if it was Masana or Semiraj.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyways, one of them's definitely in the White Tower. Demandred... Where is Asmodean? Great fucking question.
He's dead.
He's dead, yeah, unfortunately. Demandred? I don't know. I hope Graindall kind of like goes and fucks off to like Sarah.
I feel like we know where people are. We're just kind of waiting for them to interact with our characters.
Yeah, I honestly hope that Graindall is the final boss.
Yeah.
Like, she just goes and like does her own thing.
I think
and then
Moradin will definitely be the final boss.
You think Moradin will be the final boss?
Yeah, he's set up as the like...
I think it's going to be Shadar Haran.
No, I think Shadar Haran will be somebody's final boss, but it won't be Rand's.
Maybe it'll be like
Lan's.
Karen's final boss. Yeah.
Lan needs a final boss.
That's
maybe
true.
Demandred is Lan's final boss. I don't know.
Maybe Asmodean...
No, Rand has to take out Demandred.
Maybe Asmodean died, and his body and spirit were melded with a Madral, and that made Shadar Haran.
No, because didn't the Dark One say that he wouldn't bring back Asmodean if he could? Wasn't that in one of our chapters?
Maybe.
Turvok says, what do you think will come of Queen Morghese and her crew? Where will they end up next? good question.
I'm not gonna lie. I really hope they have escaped and that timeline gets resolved. We've had several books now of Morghese being gone and Elaine thinking her mom's dead and Gawain thinking his mom is dead. I really hope this storyline concludes in the next book. Either Morghese dies, which I feel like is probable. And I mean, she's not even the queen anymore. She said it herself. Like, I hope that the throne of Camelin is resolved in this book. Whether or not Elaine is there in person, I know I want to.
I promise you it won't be. It's too short. Because this book is so short.
Yeah.
Guys, this is a thin Wheel of Time novel. I don't think that
it's not good for
that will be resolved. I don't even think the Bowl of Winds. They're gonna get the Bowl of Winds like 6 kilometers down the road in this book, and that's all that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think that like Morghese like survives to like have a moment with Elaine, but then I think she dies. I think that they at least have a moment together. I don't know if Gawain will get that moment.
I think Gawain finds out that she's alive. And he hard rides to war. He brings his like younglings and he's like, guys, we gotta go save my mom. And I think that Gawain dies trying to save his mom.
I don't think Gawain dies yet. I think him and Elaine have to come to blows first. I think they need to disagree. I think his
that's interesting. Yeah, that would be. I would like that.
Yeah, and I think that his storyline with Egwene is also not finished. So I don't think Gawain dies yet.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really, like I said, I would like the Queen Morghese stuff to have some kind of, I would love to have some kind of conclusion or like tie up, even if it brings up new stories and new threads, that's fine. Just Morghese has been through a lot and she deserves some kind of resolution.
Yeah.
So.
Sonic Sean asks, now that we are sort of halfway through the series, do you feel the Forsaken live up to the reputation as a villain team that other characters have given them? No, I think they're all a bunch of hot messes who are evil because they're hot messes.
If it wasn't for Rand, the Forsaken would be running the show right now. But Rand just kind of goes in and is like, boom, boom, boom.
I don't know. Moraine one-shot one of them as well.
Yes, but
Nynaeve literally took one of them captive.
Moraine would not have been able to make it to the position where she was able to take one out without Rand.
Oh, sure, but she one-shots him.
Yeah.
And Nynaeve basically one-shots Moghedien.
Moghedien's not dead.
But she takes her off the board and like imprisons her for months. The Forsaken are only scary because of the Deus Ex Machina of the Dark One kind of is all seen sometimes, but also isn't at other times.
Honestly, Moradin is the one who's most interesting and scary to me right now.
100%. Moradin's great.
Yeah, I will agree with that. Silent Miss says Nerdy mentioned that the end of this book was good, but didn't seem like the right finale for this book specifically. What would you have liked to see instead?
Oh God, you would have had to like structurally change the entire second half of the book. In my opinion.
I think we need at least one story to have a resolution, whether or not it's the bowl gets used, or whether or not Morghese has some kind of conclusion, or.
I think I would have cut the Rand goes to the rebels stuff and just set up the fight with Samael more. I think that I would have taken all of that time away from that rebels scene, put that in the next book, and then given that time to setting up Rand versus Samael in a way that made that final fight more satisfying to me.
I think we should have had a bigger scene with one of the other storylines, like either a battle or something that was really high stakes. And that the end of the book should have, set up the battle with Samael. And then this book could start with that, with the Samael stuff. And I think that would have been really interesting if we had a different conclusion at the end of the previous book. So it was one setup and Rand, one resolution.
I think it would have been fun if the book left off with Rand out of
Shadar Logoth.
No, with Rand if you kept the Pen cutscene.
Does he live?
You don't know if he lives.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a fun ending. I think that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
But you would have had to have built up something for the other characters to do.
Either using the bowl and having it be like this big, huge thing, or maybe a battle with the Sanchen. like, you know, like Nynaeve and Elaine and all the Aes Sedai that, because there's a bunch of Aes Sedai in Abu Dar, so they could have actually like gone to blows.
Them fighting their way out of Abu Dar could have been a fun finale.
Yeah, especially with all the wise women.
Yeah,
them knitters.
Them fighting the Sanchin
guild.
to get out of Abu Dar, I think would have been fun.
Yeah.
That would have been more interesting to me than like, go, and then Matt gets hit by a wall, and then that's just the end of it. Is just, you know, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that there's a bunch of different ways that could have been more about the plot of this book rather than ending the book on like, and then in the final chapter, Rand does fight Smail.
Yeah, like we said, it's not a bad ending, right? It's just not the strongest.
Yeah.
In
it just it doesn't thematically tie up what this book was about, and I don't know what this book was about. And ultimately, I think that's the problem.
It was a middle. It was a bridge.
I wanted to get into a comment here really quick. Claude Complex 1 says the flaws that led them to be Forsaken in the first place are the flaws that prevent them from being effective. I think that is why the Forsaken. Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, they feel more like
they feel
people.
real.
Yeah, they feel like people.
But they're just not
they
that scary.
Don't feel like omnipotent in the way that like people were like terrified of the Forsaken beforehand. So I don't know.
Baka Akarn says, wouldn't you just expect him to be alive like with Matt? Yes, but there is. I wouldn't want them to do both fake outs at the same time, but I think that there's something interesting about Rand legitimately being taken off of the board for the end of the book.
Yeah.
You know what actually would have been really good is Rand makes this dumb decision, gets cut up.
Yeah.
And he's out, right? And this book ends with Rand out of it and what's his face? Oh my God, Weramon leading that charge on Ilion, thinking that Rand is going to show up, and Rand doesn't show up.
And all his people
that would
die.
be the loss. That would be a satisfying battle loss.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of the next book, Rand drops into Ilion and ruins Samael in anger.
Yeah.
And lets that take over.
Hundreds or thousands of soldiers because Weramon is an idiot.
But no, because Rand doesn't show up. Weramon rides into battle,
but also
thinking
he's an idiot.
Well, no. But I think that it's more interesting if the story is that Weramon at the end of Crown of Swords, Weramon rides into that battle and gets obliterated.
Yeah. They all die.
You have the scene where there are the captains around him are like, "Where is Rand? What is happening? Where's the plan?" And Weramon doesn't know. And then the book ends with Weramon dying. And it's just Samael standing over the battlefield, looking out at these people he's decimated, laughing, saying, "The truce is over, Luce There and Teleron, I'm coming for you."
The problem with that is Weramon doesn't know that Rand's gonna go fuck shit up. Weramon is there because he believes he's supposed to be there and is following Rand's orders.
Sure, well, whatever. You can set it up differently, right?
Yeah.
But you end the book with Rand not showing up because he tried to do this other thing that was not relevant.
Yeah.
And he pays the consequences for his hubris.
Yeah.
I think that would have been something like that would have been a really interesting end to the book.
No, I agree with that. And then this book would then start with that revenge and that fight. And I think I still believe Samael is alive. But
Power Guy says, Robert Jordan built a massive ranking system to keep track of character strength in the power. Did he? Who are your top 5 most powerful living channelers at this point in the series? Bonus list top 5 melee fighters.
I mean, Lan. We have also Lan.
No, it's Lan, Ruark. The Torum, the new guy, he's clearly very good with the sword.
Yeah.
Rand and
top 5 melee fighters. Maybe Matt because of his quarterstaff abilities.
Matt and Perrin are definitely up there.
Yeah.
Perrin can't lose, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Those are top 5 melee fighters for sure.
Powerful channelers. It's got to be Rand, Deshiva,
Nynaeve.
No,
Deshiva is not the most powerful.
Yeah, Deshiva can hold almost as much of the one power as Rand can.
Right.
They've set that up, right? Nynaeve, Demandred probably, and Moradin. Those are probably the top 5.
Moradin has the true source, so I feel like he gets like a cheat card. Like I feel like that. I don't know.
Aram, Galad, and Gawain are on a list of great fighters, but they're not the top fighters.
Here's the thing. Aram has only had a sword for like 2 weeks at this point. feel like he can't be like a master. I think he's nuts. Like he goes in and like the bloodlust just like takes over and he like gets away with it like that. I don't think he's like a master with the blade at this point.
Yeah,
Galad,
he's getting there.
Yeah, he's getting there.
I think Aram
Galad and Gawain though definitely top fighters.
Galad and Gawain are up there. I don't think that they can beat Lan, Ruark, Rand, or Matt and Heron.
Is Ruark actually the most capable fighter?
Here's the thing. You want to talk about Galad and Gawain? Let's fucking talk about Galad and Gawain.
Matt kicks their ass.
Matt put both of them on their asses by
sick.
himself.
Yeah.
After being healed.
Yeah.
Galad and Gawain do not make the top 5.
Yeah.
You've got to show me them fight someone Heron marked. But until Galad and Gawain get on the court, I'm becoming that guy from the basketball show. Until they get on the court and they show me they can go up against Kobe, they can go up against LeBron, they can go up against Michael Jordan, I don't buy it. I'm out. I'm out on Galad and Gawain. I'm out.
No, I would take Torum off the list and put one of them on there. Probably Galad.
No, Torum got a hit in on Rand.
Yeah, because Rand got distracted.
No, but Torum took Rand toe to toe.
Sure.
That I think Torum.
We didn't see Rand fight Galad or
neither
Gawain.
Galad or Gawain are Heron marked. They're not Blade Masters. They're very good.
Yet.
But Matt took them both out alone. They can't be on the list.
I don't know. Having Galad.
They didn't even they barely made it, right?
Yeah, but Galad has some like really interesting fight scenes.
Oh, sure,
I think
sure.
Gawain's more of like the leader.
But who has he fought a Blade Master? Has Galad won a fight against a Blade Master in this?
I don't know.
He has not?
Yeah.
He has not, right?
Yeah.
We've never seen Galad or Gawain
Here's the
single-handedly kill Murdral.
Not a Murdral, but Gawain did single-handedly take out the like master teacher of swords in the White Tower.
Yeah, I could beat up an 80-year-old man too.
He's not 80.
Why do you think he's the teacher? It's because he's old and his job is to teach.
Sure.
Gawain killed a Blade Master?
Yeah, the teacher dude is a Blade Master.
Was Hammer a Blade Master?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he was a Blade Master.
See?
Okay, so
Take
maybe
Torum
Gawain
off the list and put Gawain on there.
No, I still think Torum beats Gawain. Gawain lost with Galad's help against Matt. He is not in the top 5 until he can prove that he's back up there for me.
All right.
And the fight that he won off screen that we don't know if he had help for doesn't count. It was not on panel.
It's too bad we didn't see it.
You don't get credit for the shit you do when the cameras aren't rolling.
Wow, Pixar, it didn't happen.
Exactly. Pixar, it didn't motherfucking happen, kids.
You're yelling a lot today.
I am incensed. I'm feeling it. Let's go. Fight me. Hashtag not my Blade Master.
Wow.
Wheel of Time Fan Edit says, can you review your predictions list up to this point? Is anyone still making a predictions list? We can if it exists. I don't know that anyone actually has. Someone used to keep track of them, but I don't know if people are still keeping track of our predictions.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, we have...
But if anyone has that list, we'll go through it at the end of the podcast.
We're very busy, and we have not...
But send it in chat. If someone has a list, send it to us.
Yeah, sorry.
I should be doing that every week, but I have a life.
There's so many things. A life? What do you mean? We work 24/7.
That's true. I don't have a life. I'm actually very depressed and struggling.
Oh my god, yeah. We don't have the hours and hours to comb back through our content to make that list up. I wish that we did. Like, honestly, like, that would be really interesting, but like,
Dead Iron, nerdy, if you can't do it, teach it, Lamau. Yeah.
Thank you, Dead Iron, for that super chat.
It's like how I've never been cast in, well, I have actually been cast in some television shows, but I don't get cast in television shows often, so instead I react to them, you know?
Wow.
It's the influencer version of if you can't do, teach.
Oh my goodness.
Agil says, how do you think Nynaeve will grow as a character now that she's finally gotten laid / over her block? I don't think she will. I think she'll become more insufferable because now she's got no limits on her.
I'm worried that she'll get worse before she gets better.
Yeah.
Because she can literally just bully Lan into doing whatever she wants.
I don't know. I think he's gonna bully her back. I think they're gonna.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Please, someone fucking put Nynaeve in her place. God damn it. I think we might have a couple tough moments with Nynaeve before she really grows again. Yeah. Some weird shit going on there.
Skeptical Mario says, would you do a tier ranking of the Aes Sedai at some point? Even just the S-named ones? I would do that, yeah. I would do a tier ranking of all Aes Sedai.
If someone wants to...
Most of them are... I'm going to spoil it for you. Almost all of them are F tier.
If someone wants to put that together, I will also need to Google which one's which.
Is there a tier below F tier?
No.
Oh, okay. So there's not like a special place in hell I can put Cad Swain?
No.
Methany878's cat. What's up, Sammy? Says, what are some innocuous moments from the last book that were memorable for you? Potential foreshadowing reminded you of your aged grandmother. Anything else? We talked about my grandmother in the House of the Dragon episode this week.
Yeah. That was beautiful.
My mama. And thank you to the people who left me kind words about that story. I appreciated that this week. I needed it. I am depressed.
All right. Wow.
We took it on the chin in our comments this week. We did. And
people don't like that we have opinions.
We're gonna take it on the chin again when that Rings of Power video comes out. Because spoiler alert, we did not like the finale.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah.
Innocuous moments from the last book that were memorable for you. That's an interesting question. What are like the small beats? Elaine's turn after she kind of like mocks Matt for the whole Tylen situation, and then the moment where she realizes that he's being serious and that she's not treating him like a friend. I really like that moment actually. I thought it was well done.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of like Tarmangaden, it's tiny, but it means a lot for the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's very important. I also think that the moments the moment that Nynaeve has with Lan where she realizes that like he doesn't want to live.
Yeah.
And she doesn't really know what to do about that, and she's just gonna fucking do her best. Like that's hard. What else from this book in particular?
Oh, Rand and Min boning down.
I mean, that's pretty important.
The more I think about it, I really like the way in which Rand and Perrin break up. The like fake sending him away thing. I really like how that was all handled. I actually think it's a really cool moment. I wish it came back at the end of the book somehow. I wish this book had an epilogue that mentioned where people were headed.
This one, the one.
How the fuck did you find it?
I wasn't looking for it, but I just saw a sentence that caught my eye. It's the one where oh my god. It's the one where Nynaeve's like, only a ninny thinks she can threaten people and still get anywhere. And
Avienda
laughs at her, and Nynaeve's like,
Avienda's like, oh god.
What a good self-burn.
Nynaeve doesn't understand anything.
I know.
Dragon Snacks. Thank you for that super chat. Taking it on the chin is better than people coming on you from behind. That's the best moment of the whole fucking book.
That will never not be funny.
She spun around before he could come on her from behind is the best moment from the whole book. I love it so much.
That like ruined me truly. Also, I kind of also a little moment, but I don't think it's going to be little. Is wait, Caroline Damage.
Before we get off that beat. Nynaeve being like, can we make sure she knows it's me?
Oh, yeah. Good moment.
Chef's kiss.
Good moment.
No, Caroline Demidred is good, yeah.
Gonna be very interesting moving forward, I think.
Or not, I don't know. She'll come back in 3 books. We won't see her until Path of or until Towers of Midnight.
The thing with Shadar Haran about trying to break his connection to Shayal Ghul.
Not his connection to Shayal Ghul, but his dependence on Shayal Ghul.
That's what I mean.
I like that.
Interesting.
It's cool, yeah.
Interesting.
I don't think he's trying to get away from the Dark One. I think he wants more autonomy.
Yeah, more agency for sure.
Sharon Scout says, 7 books in, how does the series compare with your expectations since you first heard about the series or since you first reacted to the season 1 trailer? Not in a good, bad way, but what did you think you were in for versus what you got? This is a fun question because I was told that The Wheel of Time was nerd homework. That it's like a series that you have to read at some point in your life.
Yeah.
And now that I'm 7 books in, I'm like, yeah. It is that.
It is just a lot, right?
I'm gonna be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, this is the most controversial thing I might ever say on this show, and I'm so sorry in advance.
Somebody clip it.
If we weren't doing this book club, I would have stopped.
I would not have.
I would have stopped. I don't have time for something of this magnitude anymore in my life. And
it's a big undertaking.
If it wasn't like work, I don't have the free time in my life to take on something like this. And I think that I would have just waited for the show to come out.
No, here's the thing. This is my jam, and I'm very grateful that because it is work, it like allows me the time to read it. I would not stop. It would just probably be much slower. But I would want to see this through to the end. I love this world. I love this fantasy. And I'm not saying that you don't. But
100%.
I would have gotten there eventually.
You know what I will say? I never would have started it.
It would have seemed like too much of an undertaking.
And that's the reality of it. I never would have started it.
It is a lot.
If I had been reading it when it was coming out and it was one book every 2 years, I think I would have been more into it.
Yeah.
But I really
daunting.
I really do think that I would have got I do think that if I was reading this on my own, I think I would have gotten to the end of book 4 or at the end of book 3 probably and looked at 11 more novels and been like
holy shit. It's intimidating.
I don't know. And it's not that it isn't good. I think it's brilliant. I just think it's like because I'm 30 and I have like bills and stuff. I don't know. I have to kind of, because of what we do for a living, my time is how I make money. And so if I didn't have this as my job, it would have been really hard to like go read this by myself.
Yeah.
And like my favorite part of the Wheel of Time isn't the books, it's the podcast, it's the chat. And it's this, right? And I think that I don't know without all of this if I would have been able to find like the motivation to keep going with the series. Yeah. And that's just me being honest. Like I
think that's totally fair.
If I had a 9 to 5 and like I lived that kind of life where I had my nights and my weekends, it would be different, right? Because then this could be more of an escape for me. But because of what we do and because of how I make a living,
we have to budget our time.
No, that's a lie. You know what it is?
What?
I would have eventually read it on tour.
On tour as an actor? Yeah.
Because that's when I did all my reading, right? So like I think it would have been that I would have waited until I had a contract where I was like in Pennsylvania for 4 weeks with nothing to do, and I would have read it then.
Yeah. But I have to say, like, one of the biggest parts that did bring us to reading The Wheel of Time was the incredible community in our show Spoiler Chat, and we didn't do reactions then.
Yeah.
But so much of the positivity from the community that really encouraged us to keep going with this, and that I will forever be grateful for that.
Oh, once I got past... here's what I will say. Once I got past the end of book 5, I was going to finish the series.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would have made it to the end of book 5.
Yeah.
But not one. I think the end of book 5 was the line where I had to know how it ended. Mm-hmm. It took 5 books for me to get to that point. But I could have satisfied. I could have left at the end of book 3 and been satisfied. I think that there was good stuff. Didn't love book 4 as much. Book 5 was the best book in my opinion so far.
I like book 4.
There's a lot in Fires of Heaven I don't like.
No, that's book 5. Book 4 is Shadow Rising.
Right, no, end of Shadow Rising. Sorry,
book 4
I have them in my head. The end of Shadow Rising. The end of Shadow Rising is the point where I'm going to finish the series.
Yeah.
I just don't know when I would have done it. And I think that book club has given me the like ability to say, oh no, this is my job. I have to finish the books. And I'm really grateful for that because otherwise that like nerd homework thing is a little bit real, right? With how many names there are and how many locations and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm sorry if that's spicy. I don't
think so. Chat seems to like be very understanding because it is a lot. It's intimidating. There's so much
I just don't think I would have ever started it unless people in our chat had been like, do book club, we'll watch. Because my time right now is guys, I want to buy a house. Like I want to get nerdy netty to the point where we can buy a house.
Yeah.
And that is my life right now, is trying to like, I'm working so hard and I'm working so much because I have this goal. I just want to own where I live. And like, I know how hard that is right now. Yeah. For our generation, that's like an impossibility. And I like see the possibility on their side of this. We're starting to we're doing well. And it's been really nice. We have great sponsors. Like they're not sponsoring this video, but like Raid Shadow Legends this week, Established.titles.com,
and
Atlas VPN, and of course Audible. Like I actually do see a road to, as an entertainer, having life and having that like roots and a place that I own. That when I was a musical theater actor in New York, I never thought that was possible.
Never. I will never own a place ever in my life, and I just have to accept that.
I thought I was gonna struggle my whole life because I love art. And I still love art, and I love making art, but I love entertaining people. I got into musical theater because people were happy when I sang to them, right?
Yeah.
And making people happy and entertaining people has always been what drives me. And because of YouTube, I finally have this avenue where I feel like entertaining people and bringing other people smiles and joy and laughter is leading me towards some security that I just never thought was possible in my life.
Yeah.
And Michael Kioski, thank you for that super chat for the house fund. Jeremy
and Jeremiah, thank you for
you don't need to
super
super chat a house fund, guys. I promise you, like, we're doing so well.
It's gonna be a while because we're in Toronto and the housing market here is cursed. But thank you.
And it's really Wheel of Time was the book club was where our channel went from being this thing that we worked at, hoping that it would work, to being a thing that worked. And book club made that happen. And
book club still brings us the most joy every week. Like it's Friday is my favorite day.
And so the truth is, I didn't know what to expect fully. I knew that Do My Wells was going to be a great chapter, and I don't know that I would have ever started it without this. But now I'm so grateful for it because I do love it. Like, it's not that I don't love these books. I love these books. I just don't know that I would have started them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Jake Hendricks, thank you for that super chat.
Jake Hendricks, thank you so much. And Michael, thank you for another super chat.
You're happy that we're happy with life. I'm happy that you're here. I thank you for listening to book club. It means a lot.
No, it really, really does. And I don't think we can stress that enough.
Dragon's Hack says, when you buy a house, it better have a wall-sized map of Randland.
Look,
y'all, that $6,000 leather one. Although someone reached out, someone might be making us a map.
Here's the thing: if someone wanted to come over and paint it on one of our walls, so it was a permanent installment.
Oh yeah.
That
I don't want it painted on the wall because then if we move, we'd have to take the wall with us.
We'd have to take the wall.
I want it to be like a giant tapestry that we can
Yeah.
Dead Iron, thank you for that super chat. Y'all deserve a house.
Chat.
Nobody. I think everybody deserves housing. I hope that's not a controversial thing to say.
No, for sure. Fabu, thank you for
Fabu, thank you for that super chat.
You guys are wild, and I love it.
All right, let's finish off. Let's get some more questions in here.
Yeah.
Before I start to cry.
Don't make Murdy cry because we'll never get back on track.
Power Guy says, we are introduced to the idea of the true power in this book and are shown that you can't detect it like normal channeling. Looking back, are there any other places in the series where you think true power may have been used? This brings up an interesting thing where when Halima breaks Magidian out, Magidian's like, oh, that they must be using Saidin.
Yes.
But I was like, but Magidian knows about the true power, so it's weird that she assumes it's Saidin.
I think she thinks it's more likely, but that is weird that it's a woman in front of her. Rantelmore, thank you for that.
Rantelmore, thank you for that super chat. Message of general support.
And Kyle as well, thank you so much for that super chat. Hey, you know what? The book club will always be here on the YouTube channel for you to catch up on at any point.
That's true. Angela VM, thank you for that super chat. Come over to Europe, Ireland. You have no idea how bad we want to come to Ireland.
Get me started. One of my lifetime goals is for us to take a month and just backpack across Ireland.
I think she means move there so that we can work on fantasy shows. Because that's where they film. Mm-hmm. If we wanted to be in Game of Thrones. And actually, that Rings of Power Season 2 will be filmed there. At this point, would you want to be in Rings of Power Season 2?
Oh, I would still take the job just so I could dress up as an elf. But I would not change my opinions on the show.
Fair. Fair.
What's
We're not going to be in that
house
show.
cost in Ireland, out of curiosity?
No, we do not want to move to the UK right now. Energy prices in Europe are insane. It's bad. We'll move there in 2 years when things calm down.
Yeah, the fact that she immediately goes to Saidar instead of the true source is interesting. I don't think we know enough about the true source yet. I also wondered, and no.
But Simeon says, don't they also film in New Zealand? Season 2 of Rings of Power will not film in New Zealand.
Well, yeah, it won't
because of COVID. It's too expensive to fly people internationally to film, so they're filming all of it in London for the first time in England. For the first time in Lord of the Rings history.
God, New Zealand is also top of our bucket list.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be any big things filming in New Zealand anytime soon. Because
Ireland is not in the UK. That is, you're not wrong.
No, I said Europe.
You said UK, I'm pretty sure. I knew what you meant.
Well, no, we would have to move to Northern Ireland, which is part of the UK. It is. Yeah, it is still part of the UK. What are you guys talking about?
I thought they left.
No, so there's Northern Ireland is in the UK and Ireland is not in the UK. But Northern Ireland and London and England are where they film the fantasy shows. They don't film those in Ireland. It's filmed in Northern Ireland.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying facts. Like, I'm not saying.
Okay.
Everything I just said is true.
Okay. I understand. That's okay. Interesting. That's confusing.
It's controversial in history, but like what I'm saying is not incorrect.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the one thing about the true power that's weird about it is that you need permission from the dark one.
But is it like written permission? Like, do you have to like take your slip to the dark one and you're like, hey, I want to go on this field trip, Mom.
Like, you need like a hall pass? That I like don't really know. So so I'm like, has anyone like used it in the past? Like, maybe, but I don't know if we have enough like hints or information to really be able to like say with any kind of certainty, unless Asmodean was killed with the true source.
Yes, fact.
That might be the only moment, but
yeah, I think Asmodean was killed with the true power for sure.
Mm-hmm. Actually, if my grandfather, is English, we could get citizenship, right?
We can just get citizenship because we're Canadian.
Right.
We have Commonwealth privileges. We can go work there, like.
Oh, right. I forgot about. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Yeah, we can work in the UK. It's super easy. Barely an inconvenience. I
love that for us. Anyways.
Claude Complex, it's like the express written consent you need to broadcast sports. This property is owned by the NFL. That's a very funny joke, Claude Complex. I can't say your fucking name.
I love it.
Claude Complex.
Yeah, there you go.
But I always say complex. Let's have the dyslexic read more. Please pronounce this name. What the fuck does that say? Because my brain can't. It says Ildwam, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't like seeing things again.
Yeah, I think so.
Ildrum asks, of the places on the map or mentioned in the tests that we haven't been to yet, which are you most interested to hopefully visit in future books? Whose obviously internal hypocrisy do you find more amusing, Matt's or Nynaeve's?
I want to go see where the Seanchan are from.
We've seen it.
Barely.
That's where Rand lost his virginity.
No, I know. But I want to go back. Like, I want to see more of that.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to know, like, where the sea folk are, like, from. Like, where do they make harbor?
The sea.
No, they don't live on the sea 24/7.
Yeah, they do.
No,
they live on their boats.
No, because they have to have silks and have the silks made somehow from somewhere.
Yeah, from Shara. They trade.
Oh, they take it from Shara?
No, they trade there. They're running shit back and forth.
I don't think the sea folk live on the sea the whole time, but
I think
maybe
they live on those boats.
All right, Baccarat Karn, thank you for that super chat.
True Source is another name for the one power and is different from the true power. Yeah, that's confusing.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. The true source is what you draw from. No, you're right. The true power. God, yeah, that's.
Thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
What's your favorite shadow spawn? I really enjoy both of you. You have such good energy and are a fun addition to my Friday afternoons. Thank you. That means a lot.
Thank you.
My favorite shadow spawn. I like the Dreadcar. I think they're really interesting.
I'm super interested to see more of the Golem.
Oh, Narg. Narg is my favorite, but under Narg is Dreadcar.
Narg first, and then
Golem isn't shadow spawn though.
Yeah, it's a creation of the Forsaken. Only 6 were ever made. So,
I thought Shadow Spawn were like the Dark One's kids, and then the Golems were Agonor's kids.
I don't think that's exactly how
maybe the Golem counts. I still think Dreadcar. I like the giant flying bat that has like seductive sounds. I think it's an interesting.
Yeah, very cool idea.
Yeah, it reminds me of something I would kill in Monster Hunter.
Yeah. I definitely want to go see where the Seanchan are from.
Whose internal hypocrisy do you find more amusing and maybe more annoying? I think Matt and Nynaeve's internal hypocrisies are equally dumb. I think Nynaeve should get over hers faster, though. I think Nynaeve has had more reason to learn better than Matt has, and she is holding on to it in a way that I find incessantly annoying.
Yeah, I do find hers a little more frustrating for sure.
Especially when Robert Jordan writes so many characters around her who openly mock her for her hypocrisies constantly.
Yeah, she has no self-awareness.
Yeah, she has no self-awareness, which is frustrating, whereas Matt gets away with it because his hypocrisies are more accepted in a patriarchal society, which is why I think Robert Jordan isn't writing a true matriarchal society in the books, and B, Matt's hypocrisies are reinforced by his luck, which allows him to not need to grow from a storytelling perspective. He's not surrounded by people who want him to grow because he is succeeding in what the world needs him to accomplish.
Yeah.
Whereas Nynaeve has people around her who are trying to hold her to task and are making fun of her and are pointing out her flaws. And she refuses to learn from the people who are constantly pointing out her flaws to her. Yeah. And I find that frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Father Jerusalem asks, who is better in bed, Min or Avienda?
Avienda, for sure.
I'm going to say, yeah, probably.
Avienda is in such good shape. Avienda is going to do wild things.
Correct, yes.
You know what I mean? The
Aiel also seem a little more sexually liberated. And, like, Min, you know, like, she was raised by her aunts. I don't...
That does not matter. Having had sex with girls in Catholic school... Sexual liberation is not what makes sex good.
I just mean like Avienda has probably like heard more stories and like, you know, has more ideas.
That doesn't matter. I promise you it doesn't. There are plenty of women who have never heard of how sex works in Catholic school who will rock your fucking world. Okay?
Uh-huh.
The difference here is that there's a reason I date dancers. Okay? Dancers in bed will make your life better.
Yeah.
They just will. They're capable of things that the average human being is not.
That's true.
And
Avienda is fit.
Yeah. She is physically capable in a way. She'd be great in bed. It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
She does Kegels. You know what I mean? She's going to be great. Methany, thank you for that super chat.
What's up, Sammy?
Where can I get me one of those drag car? I'll dangle it from the ceiling on a string. It'll help me sleep and my cat has something to jump at.
Just give it something to distract. It's like a mobile
and then you
thing.
just like put the Sanchin ball gag in during the day so that you can get shit done and it's not singing to you.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Thank you for that super chat.
I wish we could make a stuffed Drakkar.
Pandoria says, what are your predictions for our Emmonsfield 5 for the next book? Nynaeve spends most of it banging Lan. Rand gets a headache constantly from having to now be king of Ilion. Perrin fights Massima, I guess. Matt wakes up under the rubble and has to marry the Sanchin lady, and Egwene continues to slowly ride towards the White Tower, but doesn't quite get there yet.
Yeah, I think that Matt's gonna get taken as some kind of prisoner. I think he's gonna get separated from all of our other characters.
Yep.
Perrin, definitely think that there's a Massima battle, and I think that I think Massima is going to be kind of, other than the bowl, I think Massima is going to be the big thing to deal with in this book. So
yeah. The book 9 is called Winter's Heart. I think that's where the Battle of the White Tower happens.
Winter's Heart?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Book 9. You heard it here, folks.
Because winter, white, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Loki asks, which character do you imagine has the most impressive bosom so far? Tylan. I think, right? I hate what you did to Matt, but I think she has the most impressive bosom.
Trying to remember.
Tylan's got
I think it's the girl that died. Matt was like, oh shit, I don't get to look at her tits anymore. And I was like,
oh yeah, that was brutal.
Okay then.
That was not my favorite moment.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow.
Mihail Azur says, with this book being 10 days long, how long do you think the series is overall? 2.5 years.
Yeah, I'm still... I definitely wish it was a little bit longer. I think my initial prediction was 6. But I think I'm wrong.
Berlaine strikes me as having impressive boobs for her size, for her frame.
She's
but she doesn't have the most
a size
impressive...
2 with F boobies.
Maybe
double D. Yeah.
She's got great tits, but they're great because they're always out, not because they're the biggest.
Savannah's got the titties.
Savannah's got big titties. That's true.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Halima again. Thin waist, double D cup. They look big on her, but they're not massive.
Yeah, because otherwise it looks...
Does Morghese have this conversation is so absurd. Does Morghese have
a pretty impressive bosom?
Massive tits?
I don't know. I don't remember them being massive, but they're nice, I guess. I don't know. That one never stuck out to me. But
you know who should play Tylan on the show? Who? CJ Sparks.
Oh.
She's got massive titties.
Oh no, she would actually. That would be perfect.
They would have to explain. No, I'm not gonna make that joke. That's too mean to.
Yeah. Graendal. Yeah, no, I'm gonna say that Savannah. Wow. Wow. You are terrible.
Christina Hendricks should be Morghese. That is perfect casting.
Who's Christina Hendricks?
Wait, you don't know Christina Hendricks?
I'm sorry. I'm really bad with names.
Oh my god, she's a redhead with massive titties.
You'll show it to me?
No. Christina Hendricks should be like one of the Aiel.
Oh, her. She should be Savannah.
Ooh, Savannah would be good. I don't know. She's so joyful. I feel like Amis would be good for her, or Soralia.
Soralia, I think, is way older than she is.
Amis, though, but yeah.
That is an impressive bosom.
Christina Hendricks is built the way that Robert Jordan wishes all women were built.
Correct. That is correct. She could be Morghese.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right, we've talked enough about tits. Let's move on to something less sexually explicit.
Firefly, that's where I recognize. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Ashan A says, how do you think that Ebudar will change now that it is controlled by the Sanchin?
Completely.
Good question.
Absolutely completely.
Is it controlled by the Sanchin?
Well, they don't control it as of now, but I'm sure that they win that fight.
I feel like Ebudar is in a better place to fight back. I don't know that they win that fight. I think that's going to be an interesting fight. Because everyone has a knife.
It depends.
They like their independence. I don't feel like
No, it depends. Because they have all the domain, it depends on if Elaine, Nynaeve, all the wise ones, and all the Aes Sedai, if they run away or if they stay in.
They're gone. They went to the farm.
They hadn't left yet, though, because Matt was looking for Oliver.
Yeah, no, they were like riding out of town at the end of that book. I think it's an interesting fight though, because feel like the Sanchin are gonna be stabby about
You mean Ebudar?
Ebudar's gonna push back.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
M Dash says in chapter 35, Min mentions a viewing she has of Rand. What good to tell him he would almost certainly fail without a woman who was dead and gone. What woman do you think that refers to? Morghese, Moraine, Lanfear, someone completely different? It's Moraine.
I thought it was Moraine, yeah.
Yeah, it has to be Moraine. There's no reason it would be anyone else. Morghese would be particularly weird because Morghese is not
I
good.
just immediately thought Moraine, and so that's where my head went.
It has to be Moraine. Yeah. She's alive. She's fine. She's coming back. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
I don't want Moraine to come back because I actually think that it makes it more interesting if her sacrifice is real. But she's coming back.
Hero of the Horn.
You don't cast Rosamund Pike if she's not going to make it to the end of the show.
It's true. Yeah. Father Jerusalem says, which of the Randland characters would buy one of those sick-ass beanies? And which are secretly dark friends? What beanies?
I don't know that any of them would buy our merch. I think that right now Rand would buy this shirt.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
I would love to have a scene in the show where all of the Aes Sedai are wearing the shirt in the colors of their Ajas. And Cat Swain's walking around being like, the fuck did I do? And everyone's like, you know what you did, Cat Swain.
Guys, come on.
You know what you did.
I mean, all of the everyone who went to Dumai's Wells would buy that beanie.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, they would.
But as far as named main characters, I think that all the women would not think that it's fashionable enough, and that Matt already has his hat, so maybe Perrin. Maybe Perrin would look good in a beanie. Mm-hmm. Those shoulders in a beanie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Colonel Sanders asked, we know Arengar, Osingar are resurrected souls placed into new bodies. Do you think there are any other characters who have also been resurrected by the Dark One?
No. I think there will be, but I don't think there are yet. Who else? Who would he have resurrected? Pater?
No.
Pater comes back,
no.
But with superpowers.
I'm gonna say no. I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. But I think he will. I think there will be some in the future. I think that there will be a bunch of people at the final battle that Rand will have to beat again.
Maybe Slayer is a resurrection.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, Slayer could be a resurrected person.
That's the only one that I could think of.
That could be his reward for betraying Malkier.
Yeah.
Was that he was brought back.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Quark's Bar. I hope that's a real place. I mean,
it
is in DS9, obviously. But I would go for it. Put it next to the Scum of Villainy Cantina in LA.
Yeah. We'll open one up.
No, I'm not running a bar. I did guys, I did a decade in food service. I'm never,
please never
the
again.
one thing I will not open is a bar. I promise you.
Yeah.
I fucking can't. Especially now that I can't
You
really
don't
drink that
want
much.
to run a podcast from a bar?
I would run my podcast from a bar,
but I
wouldn't own the bar. I would be, yeah. One of my favorite recurring things in book club is that you stick to your guns about not understanding the various magic systems, while at the same time you have lengthy conversations week to week about their nuances, mechanics, and what you can and can't do with them. This does not feel like a question. This feels like you're... Whatever. Given that we are now at the half point of the series, how do you feel about whether you'll have any of them mastered or not by the end, and whether you'll be able to define any as a hard magic system or not by then? I would be shocked if this becomes a hard magic system.
Yeah, I don't think it will be.
It would be such a weird... maybe when Brandon Sanderson takes over it will, just because I know that he has a penchant for those. But it would be a lot of work to kind of like retroactively explain how everything worked throughout this series.
Yeah, no. Especially now that we have added in the true power. Like, I just don't... I don't think we're going to have a hard magic system.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Crash LTD says, do either of you read One Piece? No. That reminds me of how Daniel Green got bullied into reading One Piece. I'm not going to read One Piece.
No, that's too much. Too long. Too many hours.
I will say, we are planning a show on our YouTube channel. We'd like our reactions. But there are some shows that we can't react to all of because they're too long. And so our plan is to do a reaction video to the first and last episodes of things. And trying to figure out what happens in the middle. And I think One Piece will be one of those episodes. Where we will watch the first episode of One Piece and we'll watch the last episode of One Piece. And we will try and explain what happened between them.
Did we get here? The one thing that, like, just going back to the previous question, the whole, like, talents thing, I would like to figure out, like, not have a hard magic system, but I would like a little bit more information on the talents and what that entails. Like, could you have a talent for growing flowers? Or is it just, like, traveling... prediction, like if there's certain talents, or if like anything can be a talent if you're just really good at that one thing.
Yes.
Yeah, you're like, yes.
My eyes kind of glaze over every time talents are brought up.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing where you're like, okay, if you say so.
Gregory Love, Naruto will absolutely be one of the first and last that we do.
Yeah,
I'm not watching all of Naruto, guys. To be fair, I'm going to watch exactly 2 episodes of Naruto. I'm going to watch the first one, and I'm going to watch the last one, and then I'm going to assume the rest of it is awesome. Because it probably is. It's very popular. It's probably very good. I don't have that kind of time in my life. The reason that we're thinking about doing, like, My Hero Academia is because it's, like, a solid 88 episodes, and there's no more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Father Drewsome, I need to come up with a third question. Who of our characters tucks and who lets it hang free?
What does that mean?
I don't think any of them are drag queens. So I don't know that any of them tuck.
Yeah, I'm very confused. Does your average guy...
Do you think there are men who tuck just on the daily?
Is a dance belt count?
No.
Okay.
Tucking is a whole thing.
It's a process.
Yeah, I don't know that they would have the right tape to tuck in Randland.
They don't have the tape.
We have to. It's. You're not doing it casually.
I mean, I don't know what the process involves, but it sounds like a pain in the ass.
It is. It does not feel good.
No, like I would imagine that would not be the most comfortable. So I'm gonna say everybody lets it hang free. Now that's a talent.
I'm not even sure they wear underwear in Randland, so.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, Father Drewsome, I'm not gonna lie, that question really threw me off. Joshy Josh says, now that you've become familiar with Robert Jordan's writing style, are there any strengths he has as an author that are second to none in the fantasy sphere? How about some weaknesses? He writes about tits like nobody else. He really, like, his breadth of vocabulary to describe the woman's chest is... It's up there. It's up there, is with no one else.
I think that his strength is definitely in fighting, in the fighting scenes.
Yeah.
The battles.
Big battle scenes, combat. Yeah.
Very, 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 like, just, like, on point. The weaknesses, definitely, there's some, like, gender stuff in there that I don't love, but it's also from the 90s.
I will say his weakness is the same weakness that George R. R. Martin has, which is ending things.
Yes. Tying up storylines.
I'm very curious. Like, at this point in the series, I'm like, how the fuck does this possibly end? It just keeps growing.
Just keeps going.
And it's it's the same problem I have with, Dances with Dragons, where I'm like, how are they ever going to get Daenerys to Westeros in the books? I think that the show, as much as people shit on the show, and I get it, people are allowed to have their opinions. I think the show got Daenerys to Westeros in a way that, like, made sense and got the plot moving in a way that the books just don't have. And so I think that I think Robert Jordan struggles in the same way that George R. R. Martin does with, like, oh, I love all these ideas. He has so many great ideas, and he just needs to, like, end some before he starts new ones, rather than just starting new ones and kind of forgetting about some that are being left behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bully asks, now you're halfway through, which of the Emmonsfield 5 is most like their original characterization and which is least like the original character?
Well, I mean, Nynaeve's the most like. She's barely changed as a person.
She's overcome her block, and she's okay with the Aes Sedai more. But yeah, in terms of her personality, she's still like a bully.
Yeah.
So I feel like she's the most the same. For sure. Actually, like, for sure. I think that's no contest.
Fabu Moose says George R. R. Martin has no issues with endings because he just doesn't write them. And I will push back that in all of the books that Robert Jordan has started that aren't Game of Thrones, since Game of Thrones, they all end.
Yeah.
He actually got good at writing endings. Game of Thrones got away from him. Whereas, like, George R. R. Martin has written, like, all of the side stuff that he's written since. He wrote really great ending for Elden Ring, right? So I think that, like, George R. R. Martin has actually written great endings. I think he learned from Game of Thrones not to get himself into that mess.
Yeah.
And I really do. I think George R. R. Martin is a stronger writer because Game of Thrones got away from him. But
like, it made him
trying
better.
to finish Game of Thrones is going to kill that man.
Yeah. Related question for Bully is, who do you think is the most change to come in terms of characters?
God, I hope it's Nynaeve.
I hope it's Nynaeve.
Yeah.
I think the answer for both of those is Nynaeve.
I think the most different from his original characterization is Matt. Because Matt does not feel like book one Matt at all.
No, he had a hard soft reboot.
And everyone else in the middle has had some good change.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Who are your top 5 characters for this book? Question from Loki.
Thank you, Loki. Number 1 is Min, because Min is the best.
Yes, Min is always the best.
Number 2 is Elaine.
Oh, from this book.
I really like Elaine's arc in this book. I think Elaine really came into her own here in a way that spending this week thinking about it, I think Elaine is my favorite arc from Crown of Swords.
I'm going to agree. Yeah.
I think she just had the most growth.
Yeah, I think Elaine's been really interesting during this book. So Min, Elaine for sure.
Yeah. That's tough. This is going to sound weird. I like Olver's arc.
Olver? What arc?
Yeah, he's kind of becoming a little person in a fun way.
A menace.
Yeah, I don't like Perrin's arc. Nothing really happened.
Perrin doesn't really have much that happens in this
Rand
story.
Doesn't really go anywhere. It's all just kind of like happens at the end. Aleda finding out that she fucked up is fun, and then her like setting spies loose in the White Tower. I'm excited for where that goes.
Yeah. Honestly, Faeline became really interesting in this book.
Yeah.
I'm not sure she's like one of my top 5 all-time characters. Mm-hmm. But as far as like what happens in this book, I think that it's very interesting, even though it's not a huge part.
People are bringing up that Patrick Rothfuss might be worse than Martin. I've never read a Patrick Rothfuss book, so I can't comment on that.
Yeah.
Wheel of Time Fan Edit says, what is your book ranking now that you're halfway through? What would it take for a future book to top the list? It would take a lot for a future book to top the list, because it would have to be a book that's really good on its own. And I'm worried we're not going to get a lot of that until the end.
They're all going to be very closely tied together. So
I've heard book 11 is that, so maybe
Some people really love book 9, book 11.
Yeah, the finale obviously will probably be near the top.
Yeah, the finale is gonna be.
I can't imagine
very
New Spring is.
No.
But okay, ranking. Right now, my ranking is. What are the books?
For me, number 4, I think, is still my favorite.
Yeah, for me. It goes 4, 6.
Yes.
3. 4, 6. 4, 6, 3. 7, 5, 1, 2. 4, 6, 3, 7, 5, 1, 2. 4, 6, 3, 7, 5, 1, 2. 4, 6, 3, 7, 5, 1, 2.
So you just made up a jingle.
No, it's 8, 6, 7, 5, 3, 0, 9.
Oh, I don't. Oh, okay.
How do you not know 8, 6, 7, 5, 3, 0, 9?
I don't know.
How the fuck do you not know what 8, 6, 7, 5, 3, 0, 9? What?
Unless it's Sleep Country or Alarm Force, I don't remember. Or Pizza 73.
You've never heard 8, 6, 7, 5, 3, 0, 9.
What is it?
Oh
No,
my
what is
god.
it? What is it? Please tell me.
It's just, I don't know. But it just exists.
I don't know what it is.
I have no idea what it is, but it just exists. How do you not know 8675309?
What?
That's
24601?
nuts.
Like, it's just a number.
Yeah, it's like not knowing what 24601 is.
Well, no, a lot of musical theater
Wait, do you guys know, do a lot of people not, is 8675309 not like a famous song? Ransom Moore says, chat may hate this, but I think the final 3 Sanderson books are my favorite except book 4. That's interesting.
Okay, interesting. It's a pop song?
Yeah. 8675309. We're gonna get DMCA, but like, Jenny, I got your number. How, for a good time called 8675, have you never heard that before?
So I'm assuming this is before area codes were a thing?
Yeah, it's like an old song. Oh my god.
I know Video killed the radio star. That's an older song.
I love that your comeback was that you just mentioned a song that is entirely unrelated.
Yeah, well, it's
I know Thunderstruck by AC/DC. It's like, oh, great, that's not relevant to the conversation we're having, but
you Barbie girl, I don't understand.
Well, there's a lot of people saying they've never heard 8675309. That's wild.
I know some 80s songs.
Oh my god. I feel so old right now.
I thought it was a jingle. Like,
No,
I thought it was like, dial
it's a
2737373, Pizza 73.
Yeah,
like,
it's like,
I thought it was like a jingle.
No, but it's like a pop song. That's so funny.
All right, well, good to know.
I'm gonna lose my mind on this podcast, and people are gonna watch me do it.
That's why they're here. You know that, right?
8, 6.
God, I remember when they introduced the fact that you had to dial in the area code before you put in the number, and I was so mad about it.
Oh god. And like that, my mom threw out our phone.
Because you still had the rounding.
We still had the fucking.
Yeah. That's
fair. Oh my
fair.
god, my mom was like, "No, fuck this," and we literally bought a button phone because area codes were added, and she's like, "I don't want to do this 10 times."
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah, it would take a lot, I think, to be better than book 4, in my opinion. That is still like peak for me, but we'll see. We'll get there.
Do you remember when Calgary got a second area code?
No.
You don't? Oh, that was the worst. Because every number.
What's the second area code?
I don't remember what it is, but because everything was 403.
Yeah.
Until they added a second area code for Calgary at some point. I think it was like it was one at my junior year of high school. So
no, because I would have remembered that if that happened.
Yeah, they added a second area. This happened while we were in Young Canadians.
I don't remember.
Because I remember that my first cell phone number was not 403. And I hated it.
Wow, that's unfortunate.
Anyway, this is a totally random conversation.
Are you planning anything for Robert Jordan's birthday, which is in 3 days? No, because I didn't know.
No.
Maybe we'll do our rankings.
No.
Yeah.
In 3 days?
Yeah.
On Monday? Well, maybe. No, we have House of the Dragon. I would love to. I wish I'd known about it earlier.
Yeah, Mondays are tough for us. They're very busy.
Felix Ketchup Seipel says, how could the Aes Sedai learn from the wise ones? I don't think they can.
Are learning from the wise ones. I think the wise ones are spanking the shit out of them right now.
They say, personally, I like the wise ones much more than the Aes Sedai. Agreed. And the wise one's relationship with Egwene.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah. Agreed with all of that, folks.
I do really like that. And I like the idea of Giotto, like, I actually think is, like, Very fascinating.
Now we get to our final question from our mod Dakuna. This is a good time to say, mods, fucking thank you.
We appreciate the heck out of you.
Big dick thanks. That's a big dick thanks from me,
Big
mods.
thanks.
With Egwene now being Amerlin, but with so many fractions in the camp, Shariam, Lelaine, Romaine, all the salad bar people, how do you feel her story continues? Will she be deposed? Will she gain control, etc.? I think that the factions are so split that none of them could agree to depose her, so I think she's safe.
No, I agree. And I think that that's how Egwene is going to use this all to her advantage.
They're going to be so scared that if they depose her, that like Lelaine is too scared that Romaine will take over if she gets deposed.
Yes, and things will fall apart. And so Egwene has to be the one to spearhead the little tower.
They will not be able to agree on deposing her, and so she will stay Amerlin for a while. I don't know if she's Amerlin at the end of the series, but I think for a while she is.
Yeah. I think that also, like, she's in the best position to hopefully, like, figure shit out with Rand. Like, I really hope that they are able to come together as close friends again. Mm-hmm. I want that for them. I don't know if it's going to happen, but, Dead Iron, thank you for that super chat.
Richard Howard says, with all the attention paid to breasts in the series, there's an unanswered question. Of the main cast, who has the best butt? Like, of the actors? I don't really want to talk about the actors. I feel like that's a little weird. But of our main cast of characters, book version.
The problem is all the women wear skirts, so it's got to be Min.
Min's got a great ass.
Min
I'm going to say Perrin.
Butt.
I'm going to bet Perrin has the best ass in the books.
Yeah.
That blacksmithing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like the ass of a broad man who works with his hands.
Yeah. No, I think he's got a great booty.
So yeah, Min and Perrin are gonna have a wet tidy whities competition for best ass.
Jesus Christ. Great, I'm here for it.
J. Allen Bennett said, what happened to Star Trek Mondays? We got busy and launching a new podcast didn't work out because the reactions were doing really well. And so we put our time into reactions because they were making a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's if you want to know the truth. We want to do Star Trek, but we can't figure out a way to fit it into our schedule right now with everything else that we have to do.
Hopefully we will at some point. Hopefully.
Yeah. Honestly, adding a show that would be that much work in terms of having to watch Star Trek every week and then do the show right now we already are trying to figure out how to cut back a little bit because we're actually a little burnt out.
Yeah.
And so we're not going to be doing 6 reactions next week the way that we are this week.
We're trying to figure out a better work-life balance because...
Yes. That's why we're working with editors more and why we're trying to get everything kind of...
Yeah.
We're trying to do a little bit better by us so that we get some sleep.
Yep.
But we might launch that podcast in the future. It just, it'll happen when it doesn't, like, make our lives harder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sorry about that. Well, we would love to, but there are not enough.
We still haven't even finished Strange New Worlds. We need to watch that show. We only saw those first 2 episodes and then we stopped.
I know, and I really liked it.
Because we went on the road.
Yes, because we started traveling.
All right, that's all the questions. It's time for the big high-low. High-low is a family thing from my household where we would sit down at dinner and we'd commiserate over our lows. We'd celebrate each other's highs, bring us closer together as a family. So, Clarus, as always, what is your high for the Crown of Swords?
That's tough. If you guys have your high-low as well, feel free to share them in the chat. We always love to see what stood out for you guys.
James, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you.
Obligatory Cat Swain is the best. Stay amazing.
Thank you for that super chat. My high for the entire book. Oh, man. This one is hard. Because there wasn't like a big bombshell moment that I was like, whoa. Like, like something like Ruidian is like, just stands out like as like S tier. Whereas this book was a lot of like good moments.
Yeah.
Okay. This isn't exactly a moment. But I think my high for this book, and I wish that we had more of it, might be Egwene, like, playing the game of houses in with the little tower. She's, like, very underestimated by everybody.
I like that.
She's using the people around her, and I mean used not necessarily in a bad way. Like, Swan is there to help her out. Like, she's, like, honest with her. She's playing the game and trying to do what she believes is like best for like the outcome of the survival of like the world.
Absolutely,
and the Aes Sedai. And watching her figure that out, watching her have that interaction with Gareth Bryan, watching her have people swear fealty to her, watching her use the thing with Lan against Morel and the yellow that was there, all really interesting interactions. And so I think that's got to be it for me. And it's not like a specific moment. It's kind of a more general thing. So
no, I dig it.
But I really, really like it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I like that.
Yeah. What is your low?
My low is Tylan and Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same as like Egwene and Nynaeve in Fires of Heaven, right? It's that same kind of like, there isn't anything else that even comes close. The Tylan and Matt stuff, I just don't like it. I don't think it's necessary, and
It's tough.
it's just tough to read, and it doesn't move the plot forward in any way for me.
Yeah.
I don't need it. So yeah, it's Tylan and Matt.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I can come up with a different low.
I think that's fair, right? I think that is the low of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same. It's if we were doing Game of Thrones, it'd be the same thing there, where I'm like, I don't know that I needed this sexual assault scene again. You know what I mean?
Dragon Snacks!
Thank you for gifting 10 nerdy nightly memberships.
Thank you for gifting the
What?
memberships. Oh my gosh.
So many people got memberships. My second low is Cat Swain's introduction, because
Wow, get out of here.
so my high. It's time for my high then.
Thank you, Dragon Snacks. Everyone's gonna be a member soon.
Love it. You love to see it. Thank you for those memberships. Dragon Snacks. Okay, my high is tough.
I know, right?
Tough. I really, I think I'm gonna go with, it's hard not to go with Min and Rand having sex. That's pretty high on my list.
Yeah.
It's pretty high. It's
Yeah.
pretty high.
So high, yeah.
Oh no, you know what? I'm gonna go with, I think I'm gonna go with the moment where Elaine puts on her big girl pants and dresses down the Aes Sedai.
Yes.
I think that was the high of the book for me. I think that
Yeah.
that is the moment that I think is going to be the most important from this book moving forward. I think that change for Elaine and what it's going to mean for her character is going to be really huge. And yeah, I think we're going to go with that. I like Claude Complex's one though. My high is the Matt Brigitte drinking buddy relationship.
I do love them together. Yeah, that does bring me joy. For sure.
All right, guys, we're nearing the end of the show.
What?
Which means it's time for a segment we only do in the full book recaps, which is that we read the first paragraph of the next book.
And we try and figure... No, it's like the first sentence, okay?
Yeah, sure.
The problem with Land's Return is that this is like good and bad about it. Like, I'm like, oh, the whole Bond thing is
yeah, oh no, I like
weird.
it, but...
Yeah.
Dragon Sack says Cat Swain's entrances, they're high.
Get out.
Correct.
Get the fuck out.
Dragon Snacks, you the real MVP.
Prologue. The Path of Daggers. Deceptive appearances. Atheniel had seen mountains lower than these misnamed black hills, great lopsided heaps of half-buried boulders, webbed with steep twisting passes. A number of those passes would have given a goat pause. You could travel 3 days through drought-withered forests and brown grassed meadows without seeing a single sign of human habitation, then suddenly find yourself within half a day of 7 or 8 tiny villages, all ignorant of the world. The Black Hills were a rugged place for farmers, away from the trade routes, and harsher now than usual. A gaunt leopard that should have vanished at the sight of men watched from a steep slope, not 40 paces away. As she rode past with her armored escort, westward vultures wheeled patient circles like an omen. Not a cloud marred the blood-red sun, yet there were clouds of a sort. When the warm wind blew, it raised walls of dust.
Who the fuck is Atheniel?
Is this the right book? Is this the Wheel of Time?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
What do you mean, is this the Wheel of Time?
Who the fuck is that? Prologue. Introduction. New character.
I mean, that's not that surprising. What? Okay.
Who the fuck is Atheniel? Where are the Black Hills? What's happening?
What's happening?
That was wild.
I want to go to chapter 1. Yep, the Wheel of Time turns and ages come to pass. Okay. I'm just double checking that this is the Wheel of Time.
Okay. I'm assuming Atheniel will be important, maybe. Or they'll introduce her in the prologue and then she'll show up 3 books later.
Maybe she was a Sanshin?
Oh, the Black Hills might be in the Sanshin Kingdom?
Maybe.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, this is a good time for us to say that this podcast is brought to you by Audible.
What?
Audible is a service that looked out at the mid-house... I keep saying midwives, and I'm ruining my own joke. Audible is a service that looked out at housewives across the Midwest and saw, hey, sometimes people feel seen but not heard. Some housewives don't even feel seen, which is extra sad. But
So sad.
most of them don't feel heard because football is on, and the men's ears are better attuned to listen to other men talk about football than to listen to their wives talk about how the trash needs to go out for the 97th time. Audible looked at that and said, you know who probably feels that way as well? Books. Constantly seen, never heard, never listened to.
So sad.
And Audible went, we can make books listened to. We can do that for them. We can make them, we can save
them a
them
voice.
their therapy bills by giving them a platform upon which they can be finally heard. And you can save books from their therapy bills by going to audibletrial.com/nerdynightly, getting a free month subscription and a free audiobook. You get a whole book for free. Go.
Free.
Click on the link in the description. Become an audiobook listener today at audibletrial.com/nerdynightly, and you can save a book from therapy.
Wow.
And isn't stopping someone from going to therapy the meaning of life?
So noble. Yes.
So noble.
What a good cause. Josh, thank you for that super chat.
As a way to thank the mods, I think we should start a fund to fly one of them out to join Nerdy and Clara's in their audio reaction to the last battle.
I mean, 2 of our mods live semi-nearby.
Yeah, one of them is not going to go on video, though.
That's probably true.
Probably.
Well, no, I was playing Fortnite with Monkey, and they were like, well, I might consider it.
Oh, I thought they were like, I don't mind being on voice, but I do not want to be on video.
No, I think because it was specifically, I was like, for like a Wheel of Time thing, and they're like, well...
Oh, okay.
Well, so it's not a no, but it's not a yes.
Next week we're reading up till the end of chapter 6, so definitely join us for that. Path of Daggers, let's go. Book 8. Boom,
Hell
boom,
yeah.
boom. I'm excited to be
Let's
reading
go.
again. This week it was a long week off.
Yeah.
Because I finished the reading Saturday the week before.
Yes,
so I haven't read
for
in
like
almost
a week
2
and a half.
weeks.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah, over almost 2 weeks.
Yeah, because you were quick.
Y'all, that's the end of the podcast. If you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave mean comments down below. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts.
Go for
I'll
it.
read it on the podcast. Something will come up next week. I'll read it. It'll be fun. If you want to follow us around the internet, you absolutely can. I'm at Nerdy Nightly.
I'm at Claris Polaris.
And as always, y'all, it's time for Smut Corner. So those of you who don't like Smut Corner, get out.
Yeah, get out of here.
Get out of here. I think that Min definitely learned some cunnilingus and some like blowjob skills from the Maidens of the Spear.
Yeah, well, especially because she's like, they know about her visions. Like, they have like this kind of like sisterhood bond. They definitely share tips and tricks, 1,000%. They definitely play Bed Bond Balefire. You know what I mean? Like, they sit around and, you know, talk about who they would do. I really want in this book for Avienda and Min to meet and just get really horny for each other. That would bring me joy. But sorry, that's not Smut
They're pretty
Corner
far
for
away
this
from
book.
each other.
They are, yes.
Ooh,
much said.
Perrin and Fail's anger sex. When Berlin comes through the portal that night, you know they have like mad sex.
Oh, Fail is going to pitch their tent like 3 feet from Berlane's, and she's gonna scream Perrin's name as loud as she possibly can.
Yeah. It's gonna be full on the Forgetting Sarah Marshall scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
where
gonna be
Perrin
an
is like
orgasm
watching
off.
her bouncing and being like, "Hey, what is she? I mean, this is great. I'm
She's
getting
very
laid."
loud
but like,
today. I don't know what this is.
meanwhile, Berlane has a strap-on Grail going, just like thrust in and out of her magically.
Yes.
You know Berlane would be into a fuck machine, without a doubt.
Oh, 100%.
She would ride that Sibian all day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, like, we didn't get to see it, but I really want, like, Nynaeve to be, like, riding Lan and just, like, whisper in his ear, like, tell Morel, I want her to know it was me.
I think that's where we leave it off. Tell Morel I want her to know it was me. Oh, no, if I was going to add a sex scene, I would want graphic details on what happened on that sea folk ship.
Me too.
Yeah.
I want the orgy.
Yeah.
Please.
All right, y'all. Do something nerdy tonight.
Bye, guys.